Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Box. Right now, Susie's trying to get our guest on, so be patient.
Where's my email?
Do you like that, Denise? I'm glad you like it. That's Steve put that together for us, and he did a great job
Request again in 56
on both.
seconds.
Susie, let me mute you for a minute. I'm gonna mute you for a minute, okay? While
Okay,
you
go
guys.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead and mute me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, Denise, Steve put that together for us the other night, and it came out good. We were both pleased. That was the last of us getting rid of the whole penny charade. So, it's gone now. So we can just, move on with our lives, everybody. You know how that works. So, tonight we've got a really good guest coming on. Um, right now, he's trying to I think what it is he's got an iPhone. I hate iPhones. Hi, Sherry. I hope you're feeling all right. Sherry won't be with us tonight. She overworked herself. She got a boo boo. So it's just going to be Susie and I with our guest tonight. So yeah, Denise, he did a really great job. I was pleased. It's not as long as the other one was because our other intro was so long. And so it's not as long. It shortened it down for us, which is good because we always, had to sit there and wait and wait and wait and wait. So, you know, let me check with Susie.
Click on that, try that.
How's it
And
going,
then
Susie?
you might be able to hold that and let it, hit copy button.
Yeah.
Here you go. Now go back. Is that the same one that I had in there? I think it is. I'm not sure.
Should be the one you copied. Yeah.
There we go.
We're having technical difficulties. And you know what? It wouldn't be good if we didn't. Hi Norma, how you doing? So yeah, we've got the technical difficulties. Norma, Putin has got a run of the muck mouth going today. He just will not stop. It's like he's in his terrible twos, and he's like a 2-year-old hyped up on sugar, running around the house, just getting into everything. I don't even know what to do with him. He just, I don't know. I had to put him in there with somebody else while, in another room while I took a shower. I didn't know what he was going to get into. He's like he's in his terrible twos. Little turd. He's feeling his oatsies that he doesn't even have anymore. So, but that's okay. And I told him earlier, boy, spring fever. You think that's what it is, Norma? Could be. It could be. So I told him last night, I said, boy, I can't wait till you grow out of this stage. I mean, geez, he got up on the bed in there in the room with the caregiver while I was taking a shower. He was in there, and my other dog was up there, and he had to beat him up before he felt better about himself. So, how we doing, Susie? Hello? Do you hear me now? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Susie, I can't hear you. Can't hear you. You took your earpiece, you took your earpiece out again.
I think he. Can you hear me, Brenda?
Yes.
I think he logged in. He's got
I,
somebody helping him.
okay, because I don't see him backstage yet, so he has to put his name in and then hit enter studio.
You got to put your name in and then hit enter studio.
Thank you. We'll step outside.
Do you see that where you have to enter your name in the box and then hit enter studio?
Hey, welcome to hang out here and clean. Right?
Did you hear what I said? There's a little box where you have to put your name and then you have to hit enter studio.
So I'm back on the main page. Can you say that again? This guy's asking you a question.
Yeah, there's a little box where you have to put your name, or it asks for your name, and then you have to hit enter studio once you're logged in.
William Steele. That's with 2 E's.
Right.
Or you could just put William. Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
once
right.
you
So right now,
I like to put my last name so people can find me easier.
Gotcha.
well, either way, yeah, I'm not seeing this point where you can.
It just says Discover Ultra or sign up.
Right. Well, hit sign up, but of course, we already
I'm already signed up.
Maybe you'll see that you're gonna just log you in. Oh, okay. Well,
It's doing something. It's doing something.
okay, yeah, all right, yeah. I'd rather explore my own realm all this crap.
So this is us having technical difficulties, y'all. Oh boy, I'll tell you.
Dream.
So
Well, she sent me a link for my text.
Oh yeah, good idea.
What happened?
Send a-
This is somebody else. Go to the next one down. That one there. That's it.
There we go. All right.
You guys finished closing up that quick?
Well, we've been closing since 8 o'clock.
I could have hidden there and worked out all night long.
Yep, they're efficient.
Good night, guys.
All right. Copy. All right, let's paste that in. Oh, looks like we're joining.
joining.
That's my joint cavern.
All right, so I'm not even in the lit area. I don't have the stand with me. She took everything. I just had a bad breakup. My girl took my computer. My
That
fans.
sucks, man.
Yeah.
That's all right. You can just hold it.
This is my first show back by my fans. I got millions and millions of fans. I got 46 million on TikTok.
Okay, guys. I'll let Susie know as soon as I see him backstage, so we can get the ball on the. Wait, how did they say that? The ball on the roll, ball on the roll on the ball. I don't even know how they say that. Don't even ask me. I know nothing at this particular point in time. So it's just I know that my allergies are bothering me. I was watching some of the storm chasers. We had some nasty tornadoes ripping through Texas. I'm kind of in a way glad that we're used to nasty tornadoes ripping through Texas.
Man, William Steele is embarrassed to be here.
Okay. Tell him to sit right back there and we'll get him pulled up in a few.
Do we get it, Brenda?
We got it. Tell him to sit back there.
Okay, just hang on.
Give me about 5
Hey,
minutes before you put it on
listen.
camera.
Yeah, we're going to give you about 5 minutes, and you're going to sit in the back. So we're going to talk, and then we'll bring you in. So just stay there. I mean,
I'm not used to being in the back seat alone.
all right. Well, you can hang on there.
All right.
All right. We'll bring you in a few minutes. Okay. Once we start off, we say a prayer and everything, but we'll bring you in a
Okay,
minute.
so we're going to do this tomorrow then, right?
We're doing it right now.
We're going to do it right now, but just
my fans are blowing up my phone asking me why I'm lying. They think my
give us a few minutes. Hang on. Just hang on. Okay. Bye.
I have a nice personal assistant here. The guy's a gentleman.
Okay. Okay. Woo. He's got help. Thank God. Okay.
Yay.
Okay.
So how are you doing? Did you work up sweat? Did you work up a sweat, my dear? Did you?
That was a little sweaty. Yeah.
Well then.
So, okay, we got him. He got some help. He's got some computer problems, so he's trying to do it on his phone, and oh my gosh, but he got it.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I am just, my allergies, my eyes are running, I'm blind as a bat and cannot see today. And I don't care what set of glasses I wear. It just doesn't
Well, you
matter.
look so pretty today, just saying,
Thank you. I seen your photos today of you picking all your blueberries, blackberries, raspberries.
Blackberries?
Yeah.
I know. I was competing with my dog. My dog was trying to eat them, and I was trying to get them all.
It was a competition. Here we go. Who's gonna get the most?
Dog. Yeah, the dogs love them.
Yeah, I bet he could fill up more in his mouth than you can in your hand.
So you know what? I wanted to say something before we got started, and that was something about my ex-roommate, right?
Oh, okay.
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 I don't know if I got to share this story or not. And I'm gonna send you here. I'm gonna send you something real quick. Oh, it's 911. It's an emergency. Okay, That's the time right now. Don't choke.
Oh, I thought something happened. So what?
Oh my God.
They tried to kill me, y'all.
The time was like 911 when I said.
On that one, you just like, I thought something happened because Joel and I'm like, what?
Call 911. No,
Oh my God! Don't do
not
that
again. Oh Lord, have mercy.
God.
Oh, okay. This one I'm going to send you. Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right. Here it comes in Messenger.
I
And
don't.
then
I
I
don't
have
want to
one
do that
more.
too long. So hurry up.
Huh?
I said I don't want to do that too long. You need to hurry up. What are we doing?
Okay. I got it. Okay. Just hang on. I'm going to send it to you, and then oh shoot, where's that other one at?
I have no idea, Susie.
Oh, I probably. Okay, I know where it's at. Hang on. I'm gonna. Oh shoot. Hang on.
Oh, I got a headache.
Okay. So you got a headache?
I do.
You get drink some coffee?
I have not. I had some earlier
Okay.
this morning. 1 cup a day. That's all I'm allowed because my kidneys will say, "Screw you. I'm going home."
Okay, that's not good. All right, let's see. Okay, and then I'm going to send you this one. Okay, and then I think we got it. Okay, I was getting worried. Like, okay, where is it at? On which phone is it on? Okay, all right. So the story goes that I got there. Okay. I'm like, okay. So here's the story. This is a weird one. Okay, so hang on, everybody, because hold on to your hats because this is going to blow you away. Okay, and I don't know. Some of the guests may have heard this. Some of them might have not heard it. Okay, but whenever actually after my roommate moved out, okay, and I had to go into my storage unit that I'd had stuff locked up in since 2021, beginning January 6th of 2021. But we had left in 2020 our other property and had put all the stuff in the storage, right? So in 2024, I had to I was looking for something in my belongings that I needed. I needed like a towel holder. Okay, I knew I had in there. I never did find it, but I was looking for it. And so I was going through all the boxes, and as I'm going through these boxes, I find my old Bible. In my old Bible, I hadn't seen it, for like since 2020, right? And it was in this box, so I pulled it out of the box, and when I pulled it out of the box, I opened it, and it was pretty wore out. My Bible had pink and yellow and green marker. The pages were wore out. I'd marked this Bible up so much that the cover was actually falling apart. It was like wore out, had like holes in it,
Right.
and so I opened it up, and when I did, the first thing it said to me was, "Show me a penny whose image and superscription hath on it." They answered. They said Caesar. Okay, and when I said that, "Show me a penny," and that was my roommate Penny. I screamed, "Hell no!" Like, and I shut that Bible. Like, I can't believe God just did that. Okay. And I shut the book and I put it back in the box and I kept on going. And I found this other box after a few boxes, and it happened to be Penny's box. And it didn't have much stuff in there. It just had, like, I don't know, it was just like junk or something in there. And I'm kind of moving it around, and it wasn't, there wasn't really anything in there except for at the bottom of this box, there was about 15 books, you know. And I said, huh, there's some books in here. Okay, you know, her journals. So I said, well, maybe I should read those because, you know, I just got this message, you know, like, show me a penny. And I'm like, okay, so, you know, I'm going to get this book. And I took 5 of them and I took them back to the house to read them. And when I read the book, what it said was, it was dated on this one page, Thursday, February 28th of 2016. Now, I didn't know Penny back in 2016.
Right.
Okay. Like, Penny moved into my place in 2018. And I met her, like, not too long before that, you know?
Right.
And so, you know, this was a journal that she had wrote before she went to the crazy house. Okay. And so it says Thursday, February 28th, 2016. God, my prayer. Now, I had read all the journals that she threw away in the trash after she left, you know, and in them, she never said anything about God, my prayer. I never saw anything where she actually prayed a prayer. The only thing she referenced was God was Lucifer and that she loved him. Okay.
Right.
And that she, you know, she was, you know, serving the New World Order and everything else. Right.
Right.
That's, so I figured, so, you know, this God that she was serving wasn't a good God, you know.
Right.
And so she writes this. She says, God, my prayer, reveal to Susie and Joel, my son. Now, reveal to Susie and Joel, I didn't even know this woman. And neither did Joel. And she's praying a prayer in 2016, in February of 2016. That's like the end of 2015. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she says, reveal to Susie and Joel, and it says something about me, about her. And then it says, an argument meant to cause dissonance and distrust between Susie and I. That's exactly what happened. I began to distrust Penny because she lied about a phone call with Brenda and a conversation with Brenda that Brenda had a screenshot and showed it to me. And when I confronted her with it, she became very angry and started screaming because she got caught in a lie. And she swore up and down that she was a truth teller. She always tells the truth. She believes in the truth. And here she's flat out just lying to my face and got caught, got busted. Okay.
Right.
So here she's writing something about this back in 2016 before I knew her. Okay. And then she says, an argument meant to cause dissonance between and distrust between Susie and I to facilitate our not working together. Because right after I found out that, Brenda, I came over to the house and I told you, Brenda, how can I go on her show anymore when I know she's a liar and dishonest? Because I can't do that.
That's
You know,
exactly
she
what.
claims she's a truth teller. So if she lies about that, what else does she lie about?
Right.
And I can't look her in the face. She can't even say she's sorry for what she did.
Right.
Because all she can do is yell and scream at me because she got caught.
Right.
Okay. And then she writes, let her see that I always tell the truth. Now, can you show that? I sent it to you on Messenger. I showed that letter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And what I wanted to say about it, Brenda, you know, and this is what I was talking to you about earlier, was that's the letter that she wrote. Everybody can see it's in her handwriting. Okay. And that's our proof and the date and everything.
Right.
And the thing I wanted to say is that, to me, now that I found out that she's, serves Lucifer and the dark side, and she gains people's trust, okay, but she's not to be trusted because she's not on our side. She's not on God's side, the good God.
We lost
Anyway.
William.
Huh?
We lost William.
Uh-oh, he'll probably have to come back in again. Okay, so here's the thing that I wanted to say was the point was this is that all this was done before I knew her. They knew exactly what was going to happen before it happened, and they were trying to prevent it from happening. So the devil knows things, like they have that looking glass, they have the crystal ball thing. They can look into the future. They can use psychics. They can use things. They can do, remote viewing. They can do all these things and look at things in the future. Okay.
Yeah.
And so they use all these ways to find out what's going to happen. Right. But the point is that even though the devil can plan and plot and do all these things, that God is always one step ahead of the devil. Because what did I find? Show me a penny, God said. And it was about Jesus. It says that scripture was about Jesus revealing who your enemies are. Because it says that the inscription belonged to Caesar and not to God. That is why that he was revealing who the enemy was. And I'm like, so the point is God's always ahead of the devil.
Correct.
So,
I,
so that's what I want to say. No matter what we've gone through or what we go through, everybody should just take comfort in the fact that it doesn't matter what the devil has planned for our lives. God is always ahead of the devil on those plans.
that's right.
So,
Okay. Shall we get started, and then we can go over the bio of William, and hopefully he'll make it in here in time to be coming back on here.
Did he? All right, let's see. Did he? Let me see if I can find him again. Oh my goodness!
You can find him. Woohoo, William, where are you? William,
he was there.
Get back on here. Who knows, Norma? Who knows? She went on somebody else's show and said that Susie and I broke into her house and was going through her things. Now, Norma, first of all, doors never locked. It was Susie's house. Second thing is, can you see me outside of somebody's window crawling out of my wheelchair with one leg trying to get in through a window? I pictured this, okay? And I'm thinking, boy, that would be a sight. I would definitely want someone to get pictures of that. Is that going to be funny? That's going to be funny. See my little fat butt waddling through a window with one leg kicking. It's like, what? So, yeah.
Did William get in? Did you see William?
No, he's not in here.
Okay.
He was in here and he was in the back.
Okay.
Did he get mad because you told a little story before we brought him on?
No. I don't know what. He's having trouble. He's on his phone, so.
Yeah, so that was a little drag through the mud, and we were like, what? And then she's like, well, that's illegal for them to talk about stuff. I'm sorry, no, it's not.
Okay.
It's not because.
Go ahead, mute me for a second, Brenda.
Okay. It was not because it was left there in Susie's house and it was going out for garbage. So, yeah. Her and Tama apparently did a number on us and Steven. So, you know what? They are just not even really even worth our time anymore. I mean, so that's what we said. Oh, William. Denise got it right. Oh, okay. Hang on. All right. What's up?
He says he's in the background. It says he's in the background.
No, he's not.
He says he's not part of the show yet, but he's there.
He's not there. He is not in my queue.
She's saying you're not there. It's not.
You're not in the queue.
Oh my God! I am. I was watching you a minute ago, and I said, "What do you think?"
He might have to do it all over again if he's not in the queue. Whatever he did.
whatever you did, you didn't get in the cube. Is that what it is? The cube,
So
you said?
whatever he did, he left the queue to do, and the queue won't let him back in. He's going to
Okay.
probably
However, you left the queue. When you try to get back in, it didn't bring you in. You have to re-enter again. You have to go out and re-enter.
tell him to ignore his phone while he is coming onto the show. There he is. I got him now.
She got you. She got you. Okay, we got you.
Still, we got to get him out
Sit
here.
still. We
before he
got
gets
you. We're gonna bring you in. All right.
What do you say?
Okay.
No? We got it?
Got him?
Yeah. Okay. Real quick,
Okay.
like go over. Do you want to go over his bio where he can turn around and I've got everything written in.
We can bring him in and I can read it.
William.
Okay. Come on in,
William.
William.
William, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
No, he's on his phone.
You're on. I mean, she opened it up, but it's black screen right now. It says
Because
William.
he's on the phone with you.
Oh, because you're on the phone with me. Hold on.
Yes.
You have to get off the phone with me in order to get in. Okay. Hang up. He says, well, then hang up. Oh, my God. He's making me laugh. Okay.
Here, get in here before we lose you again.
There he is.
Now, now we can't hear him.
Now we can't hear him? Okay.
Why can we not hear him?
Probably
Turn your-
because he was on the phone with me. When you get a phone call, then you can't hear. You have to go out and come back in.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Oh, see, that's what happens when he calls me. Okay. He went out. You have to come back in. But if
Well,
you saw him,
this is
I will read his bio while you're working on that. How's that sound?
Here he comes. Here he comes. Hang on. There we go.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We got you now. Yes.
Hey,
Listen,
William.
Listen, you ladies drive me crazy. What the heck's going on over here? You got me wearing my reading glasses in front of my fans. They can't know my age. Okay, so George over here, say hello to George. This guy
Hi,
here,
George. You're a
he's got
lifesaver,
he's
George.
got a website design company. What's the name of your company?
I don't have a company. I'm just a freelance web developer doing my best.
There you go.
There you go.
This guy was nice enough. I was at Planet Fitness getting my tan on, and this gentleman was seeing me struggle. So thank you, George.
Of course.
All right.
Get your
All right,
team
have a good
on.
podcast.
Tell
He's-
George thank you so much because I know he helped you get in there.
He's a Christian brother too. So God is good.
Yes.
Thank you,
Amen.
George.
Always.
God bless the broadcast. Enjoy, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh man, listen. I had somebody in my life recently who kind of tried to wipe me out, and like I don't have my laptop, I don't have my ring lights, I don't have much of anything. But you know what I have? I
What?
have my wits. I have my wits about me. I have my good sense of humor. Even if I have a broken heart for a minute, it's a tragic thing. But
Those
I'm
heal.
trying to figure out where to stand. Can you guys hear me?
You got to raise it up a little bit higher so we can catch. Yeah, there you are. We can see all of you now.
All
Yeah,
of
but
me?
we-
Oh no, I don't have anything. I'm in my boxers. No, I'm just kidding.
It's okay. I never wear pants. My audience knows that.
Hey, look, I decided to go here because to see the finger behind me in the Planet Fitness,
Yes.
isn't that my pose most of the time?
Right.
Add effects using hand gestures. Turn on reactions. Express yourself with a hand gesture. Oh, it wants me to do things with my hands. No, I'm not going to do that. Ladies, how are you doing? Thank you for having me.
Hello. Thank you for coming.
Yes, William.
Norma's all into hi George. So Sherry.
He left. His wife's blowing up his phone. Poor guy who's been trying to help me for 30 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I have somebody that abandoned me in my life and things I was trying to build, and just I'm not going to say any names here, really, what's going on, but it hurts, and it's I like to pray for those people, man, like really, because I never even dreamed like you wait 5 weeks and then you put paperwork and all this crazy stuff, man. It's like I need my laptop, I need
Yeah.
I need what was the harm in a 5-minute conversation to try to wrap things up, but they'd rather, some people just would rather make things 1,000 more difficult than 1,000 times more difficult than they need to be, and it's really heartbreaking. It's sad,
Absolutely.
but they have their own struggles, and I pray for them, and I have, I'm not there's enough blame to go around, so
Yep.
can't get into all this, but
Well, let's just
guys,
say a prayer for that person. I'll go ahead and enter a prayer. We'll say a prayer for our show. So, Lord Jesus, I just ask that you just help all of us and you help those people that need help, that have felt it in their need in their life, to maybe not be, the best person they need to be. Lord, help show them to be a better person. And we just say, God
mm,
bless them all in Jesus' mighty name.
in Jesus' name, and I hold no animosity. There was an agreement about a lot of things, and not one of it was kept, and it had nothing to do with me not keeping anything. I've tried to keep my word on every account. Um, and it just sucks that my fans have been going crazy, like asking me if I'm okay, asking me what's wrong, and so I decided to come back. You guys are the first show that I'm doing. I jumped on with Shane Coyle, Child Safety Soldiers, the other day, and I just want to give a shout out to my fans and everybody. I've received so much love over the last few weeks, and it's very encouraging to know that so many people love me and care about me and my well-being, and um, yeah, it's it's been a tough couple of weeks, and it's still not easy, because I try not to think about it, because if I do, like, I break down, like, get very, very upset, very sad, and you say you're blindsided and that people are going to do something else and they do the exact opposite. um, it's really heartbreaking. I don't know why
It's a
people need to be
setback.
like that.
It is, it's a setback, but you know what? God has a plan, William, you
Yeah.
know,
This is
Yes.
true.
and
So, Susie, do you want to go ahead for people who don't know who William is? Give a little rundown of his bio, and then we will get started with
okay.
a few things.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me pull this up because hang on a second. I'm gonna pull up your bio, William.
We are like
Okay.
scattered chickens tonight, y'all. Okay. I am so glad I have got our regular viewers are wonderful. We love these people. They know how we are. And sometimes they just, what are you doing, William?
I'll tell you in a minute after she introduces me. My
Oh,
first
okay.
movie, my
Okay.
first movie I'm in since I got out of prison is coming out May 13th.
All right.
All right, here we go. I'm getting to the top of it. All right, it says tonight on Beyond the Box, we are beyond honored and thrilled to welcome William Steele, because William, you are my good friend and I love you and
Thank you, thank you.
wanting the best for you.
I
It says
appreciate it.
he is known nationwide as the king of true crime for the unforgettable live episodes you do not want to miss. You've seen him on A&E, Hulu, Crime 360, multiple major networks. William Steele is one of the most electrifying, inspirational true crime figures of our time, with tens of millions of fans across platforms and one of the most epic redemption arcs in the U.S. history. A former international jewel and art thief, gun and cocaine trafficker. Woo, William.
I'm very ashamed of that. I'm very ashamed of my past. For the record,
Right?
I wish I never
Yes,
lived it.
but
I wish I never
you
lived it.
know, it's like, it comes to mind, those that have sinned love God, that repent and come to God, they love him more because they know what they had to be forgiven of,
Right.
you know. So
There's a lot of truth to that, because I'm more appreciative of my salvation and my new life, and the fact that I don't have somebody took all my camera stands, and I'm sorry that I can't figure out how to send her the camera. Look. So look, I'm not kidding you. See,
if anybody's ever watched you on your program, you're very professional. So yeah, we are getting by on a wing and a prayer
you
here,
see
Wing and
that?
a
William.
So I'm
prayer.
gonna give a shout out to Cadillac, because I got the phone sitting on the back of my car, leaning against the box, because somebody was kind enough to not give me any of my phone stands, um, and kept my computer. And I mean, what the hell? If anybody has a computer to donate, or a stand or something,
Hey,
I have millions of fans, and
Susie,
I can't even do a show without,
idea.
like, crouching down and trying to figure out where to place this box on my trunk.
Susie, go ahead
Yes.
and have Joel set that laptop to factory settings and send it to William.
Okay, William, you got a computer coming. We're going to send you one.
Oh my
And it
God,
might,
those things.
Brenda's going to send you a computer.
Thank you guys. I love you. Thank you so much.
yeah, we
Thank
can
you, Brenda.
get that sent to you so that you at least have something to be able to do this stuff on.
You
Okay.
guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I mean, that individual, we had made a deal that individual could keep it as long as things went smooth and civil, and they elected to go a different path. So I said, I mean, you promised, authorities and the church members and everybody else the computer, they it's mine. Take your stuff off and give me the thing. You got a million other computers. You don't even like Apple products, for God's sake. You know.
All right, William. So I'm going to finish reading your intro. It says Steele served nearly 2 decades in prison for nonviolent offenses, where he transformed behind bars, escaping and landing him an appearance on America's Most Wanted. Now redeemed by the unyielding empathy and compassion of others, his undying faith in God, and the fierce advocate for victims, the wrongfully convicted, the criminal justice reform, he studied law, wrote books and screenplays, and came out ready to make a difference. Now he's an executive producer of the host of the Steel Spotlight, a fast-rising cable TV and true crime platform, and the star of an upcoming movie, Silent Partners, releasing May 13th. He collaborated with legends like Samantha Markle, Duchess of Sussex sister, Peter Tickton, Trump's attorney and lifelong friend, Louis B., NYPD mafia detective, retired. Ignacio Esteban, former ATF agent, author of 80 books, and Picasso Vega, an infamous art thief turned documentary film subject and motivational speaker. His co-hosts include Frank Lordy. Is that right, Lordy?
Yes,
A
ma'am.
man of a man of faith, now exonerated after wrongful conviction, and Tommy Harding, former gang member, then mafia-affiliated enforcer, turned then acclaimed bounty hunter, now a powerhouse youth mentor and author of The Hardening. Okay, there's a lot more to read, but you know what I loved about your was in the show that you did, inmate to roommate, and you were so funny, William,
Oh,
and
thank you.
that was hilarious show. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Listen, so if everybody might want to know, so yes, I'm on Inmate to Roommate. If anybody's ever watched Love After Lockup, 90 Day Fiance, 60 Days In, my show aired on A&E Network. I'm in season 1 of Inmate to Roommate, and from what I'm told, they also moved it on Disney because I mentioned Disney World. When I got out of prison, I wanted to go to Disney World, and so they find my story inspirational. 2 networks now are offering me other deals for reality shows. I have in total now, and I don't know how I did it. I didn't know anything about TikTok 2, 3 years ago. Now I have over 46 million views there, millions on other things. Not on my platform. I only have 18,000 followers. If you guys want to follow me, official William Steele on TikTok, check it out. But like if people that cover reality TV shows, when they talk about me, my clips from the show, they get millions of views, hundreds of thousands of views. I just saw one on YouTube about me from A&E Network channel. They have a channel on YouTube, 441,000 views, and I'm like,
Wow.
I still can't believe it. I'm trying to figure out ways to better monetize everything. But I just give glory to God, man, for bringing me around the corner. I'm not perfect by any stretch, guys. And the people that know me best of all probably tell you that. But I'm not the
Norma,
guy that I used to be. I'm not the guy hiding in the corners, looking over my shoulder, waiting for the cops, the FBI or the U.S. Marshals when I escape from prison, to pull me over or to, ask for my ID. I don't worry about that anymore. I'm out here in the middle of a public parking lot. If they show up, yes, sir, I'm doing a show, Yeah, here's who I am.
Norma, he wasn't on like the John Walsh. He was one of America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, I was on their website.
Yeah.
So they never got to produce the episode about me because I actually got captured before they produced it. But yeah, so I did a lot of stupid things. I'm not proud of it. And then I was in lockdown. I was in a solitary confinement in 2 supermax prisons for a total of approximately 4 years. And in that time, I was studying. I was in the Word. I was studying the Bible constantly. I was wondering what a vape was, and I think I just saw one somewhere. I don't know, but I didn't know what they were, right? So, so all these things are new, Bitcoin. And I spent all my time like taking college and university courses. I became a law clerk. I started helping a lot of people. And then when I got out of that status, I was working for the chaplain's office, setting up for visiting ministries. I still was a law clerk for many years, and so I learned the law pretty good with civil and criminal procedure. And now I work, occasionally with the Innocence Project, but most of the people, if they can prove to me that they're wrongfully convicted, they're more than welcome. Them and their attorneys to have a platform on my shows. I have a cable show in Fort Wayne, Indiana called Steal a Spotlight. I'm hoping to roll that show out nationally um, because there's a way to do that. And so, yeah, and I'm in Silent Partners. This is actually what I went to New York. We had a screening of Silent Partners. It's going to be streaming on, I think I just saw something today, Apple TV and some other services on May 13th. And I have a small part in that. Now, Dave Icavetti, if you have the pictures of me and my co-stars and all that, I'm not the star of the show, though. Let me be clear. I have a little part there. Like, I'm not going to say what it is. You're going to have to spot me. But I bring millions of fans to the table. And I thank Cyril DePaggio. He did time. He turned his life around. He's a great guy. He's making movies and he's making moves. And so thank you for letting me on the movie. And he's offered me a few other roles coming up. And then we're producing a drama series and a feature film about my life and about my first book, Sex and the Serial Killer: My Bizarre Times with Robert Durst. And it's getting cold out here, so I'm going to try to position this inside the car.
There you go. And all of his books that he's written, they're pinned at the top of the YouTube chat, guys. So if you touch on those, it'll take you to where his books are. Because I want to know and ask, what on earth got you started in all of the mess?
The crime.
Yeah.
And all of the mess. Greed and sin, I guess, is the best way to put it. So I'm from Brooklyn, New York, right? And so my whole neighborhood was like, I don't know, I'd say a lot of mafia and crazy stuff going on. And, growing up, like I was a little kid, Carlo Gambino had a house on Ocean Parkway near my house. We were on Lancaster Avenue, Ocean Parkway between W and X, for those of you who know Brooklyn. And so my mother was severely mentally ill. She was on a diet drug after I was born, and that drug, I'm thinking it was called Dexedrine or something like that, and it caused her to become mentally ill. She was just abusing it, I guess, and so that's all I've known all my life. And so my earliest memories were visiting my mother in a psychiatric hospital on Long Island, a place called Pilgrim State, in case anybody's familiar with that. Um, but it was very heartbreaking to see my mother there, and you know, uh, so that's my earliest memories. And so I guess no matter what I did, I could do no wrong with my mom, right? So that's how moms are, I guess, and that's how my mom was. And I may drive to a better lit spot, but
I think you're okay.
my father was very law abiding. He worked for Intelpost, the post office, and yeah, he was very law abiding. So later on, I was kind of living with relatives and stuff, because the home life wasn't, all that phenomenal. And my mother kept getting committed to psychiatric hospitals. Okay, I think I got some light on me now. What do you think, guys?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, at least on my bald head. Let me let me back up. All right. I think that might work. Maybe if I take my.
There you go.
All right. So I apologize for the poor lighting. I had somebody help themselves to all my ring lights and everything else. So I am trying
Hey, at
to.
least we got you here so we can hear your
Yes, ma'am.
story.
Yep. So maybe if I lounge back, or maybe if I lay down or something. Okay.
There you go. That just have to, yeah, we can see half of your face.
Yeah, we're good. You shouldn't have told him that.
Right.
So we can see your
I'm
face.
probably make. I'm trying. I think I'm making your viewers drunk. I sincerely apologize. I don't have a stand. I don't even have a stand anymore. Like I was given
And you're
pieces of my
smoking
stand.
anything funny, are you?
That's pretty good. Like that. It looks like you're wearing a hat or something. You know, it looks pretty cool, actually. You know,
Thanks, Susie.
it looks pretty good, actually.
Oh
You
man.
know.
Okay. Oh,
Okay,
you know, there's a gas station
continue.
over there that's well lit. I'll
Continue
probably
your
just.
story, William. We want to
I'm
hear
gonna
your
mess
how
your
you.
Okay.
connection up by
Yeah. So
driving,
so
so
my mother
don't do that.
was not well, and so there's a lot of turmoil in my house, living with relatives and all that. Um, but in the end, I grew up defending her from bullies and people that pick on her and stuff. And she went through hell. My earliest childhood memories visiting her in a psychiatric hospital on Long Island Pilgrim State. And it was very heartbreaking. She's crying all the time. William, tell Daddy to bring me home. And so I guess that creates a psychological scar. Excuse me. Um, yeah, like if I was in a spot where I was more comfortable, I'd probably get choked up right now. But right now, I'm just trying to stay warm. Anyway, Mom was wonderful. I could do no wrong. She was obsessed with Jimmy Carter and Prince Philip and all that, and would write them letters all the time. And I remember I don't know, about 13, and we had pictures of Jimmy Carter all over the house, right? And she would cry, Jimmy, I love you. Write letters all the time, inviting Jimmy Carter to like barbecues at the house in Brooklyn, inviting him to my birthday parties. And we get letters back from like Buckingham Palace, Prince Philip can't attend your son's birthday party, and or from the White House and all this stuff. And one day I come home from school, and there's police and Secret Service at my house, and they grab me and they lock me up and take me downtown to Manhattan, from Brooklyn to Manhattan. They had offices in the World Trade Center back then. And I'm like, what are you bringing me? What are you locking me up for? We'll tell you when we get there. And the only thing I remember about that was I get in an interrogation room with the Secret Service, and out of a big manila envelope, they slide a picture and they said, what can you tell us about this? And it's me at about 13 years old pointing a broken BB gun at the camera. And in my backyard, me and my friend were just playing with a broken BB gun. And I said, well, I told them what it was. I said, last time I saw it, it was a Polaroid about that big. And they said, well, they blew the photo up to try to identify the gun. And they said, why would your mother send that to the president of the United States? And I'm like, and I said, my mother loves Jimmy Carter. She's a wonderful person. She's in love with him. She doesn't pose him any threat. And I'm not, I certainly don't. And so they had to find my mother, find my father, find her psychiatrist, and make sure she was safe. And what she did was, with that photo, she had written hundreds of letters probably. She had sent with that letter, until we see you again, Jimmy. This is my son Billy. 100 pounds of Doritos and water.
Wow.
To this day, I drink water all day long, and I love Doritos.
This is something that you might be interested in. Woo, one of our guys that watches the show, just gave us breaking news. Virginia, what's her name? Virginia Guffrey,
Yeah.
who exposed the Epstein stuff. It's just reported that she has died at the age of 41 by unaliving
Suicide.
herself. You can't say that word, Susie. Unaliving
Oh.
herself,
She did it herself.
apparently.
Oh my
So,
God. Hey,
and that was like
can I say a prayer for her, please?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Father God, Lord, we just heard some breaking news, a sad thing about another victim of Epstein and Maxwell. We don't even want to mention their names because they're just so horrendous. I knew them for a brief period of my life when I was doing a lot of illegal things. And Lord, I pray for her spirit, that you take her home. She suffered a lot as a young lady. We don't know all of the whole story. I'm sure she's never revealed all of it. We thank you, Lord, for having somebody like her have the bravery to come forward like she did and tell her story, Lord. Um, please be with her family and with the other victims, Lord, and put on the hearts of these horrible people that touch children how wrong it is. That we all have children. We all have, you know, people in our lives that these horrible things happen to. Lord, just please give her peace in heaven with Jesus, in Jesus' arms. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, God bless. Yes, God bless her.
Man, that's heavy news considering we're about to talk about Maxwell and Epstein, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in case you guys don't know, William knows them. Wrote a book about
New.
Maxwell.
Yeah,
Man,
you wrote a book about it, and You want to share a little bit of that story, William, and how you met him?
Yeah. So the book, I don't know. Can you throw the cover up on the screen so that they can see the cover? Do you have the cover
Uh,
handy?
The cover of the
uh,
book. Do you have a
yeah,
picture of the
hang on.
cover?
I
Okay.
was doing something.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah. I guess she's gonna throw it up on the screen. And I guess there's links in the description, so that's all good. Or it's on Amazon. But yeah, I'm just processing what you just said because so many people are no longer with us that are connected to these people. In that book, I
Oh,
exposed the Clintons big time. Okay, things that I personally witnessed, and everybody said that they'd be coming for me. I've been warned. I've been threatened over the years. Um, and just to hear that somebody else, I need to learn the circumstances of that to see that if she even did it or it was staged or somebody did it to her. And
yeah.
I'm kind of wanting to research it right now, but we're on the show because everybody exposing them and connected to them one after another is suddenly
Disappearing.
Gene Luck
yes.
died, and they said the same way. I met him over at the Palm Beach Mansion years ago. He was a real creepy guy, and there was always these young girls around, and and I asked Jeffrey, I'm like, what is going on around here, and he's like, oh, they're models and they're massage therapists, and these women always topless at the pool in the backyard, and I kind of got into something where. Yeah, it's just kind of hit me hard right now. I'm thinking about it because now it got me looking over my shoulder, like right here. Serious, I just locked my doors. Not that. I'm serious. I'm serious. They're releasing more and more lists every day, and she's got a lot
Yeah.
more to say. She had a lot more to say, and people like me,
William, which
people like
book
me
do you
have a
want?
lot more to say that's not in that book. But I've
Which
already exposed what
which
What's
book?
the cover of the book?
Which
What's
one?
the name of the book?
Ghislaine, sensational and impure. It has her picture on the cover,
Okay.
massaging his feet on the
Yeah,
jet.
I just wanted to make sure which
Now
one.
you met them because they were buying jewelry and stuff, right?
Well, he started to. So what happened was I was on the run. I was doing a lot of burglaries down in South Florida, and sometimes I had fences on Worth Avenue, which is in Palm Beach. So what I would do is I'd go into my fence. He had a diamond salon on the second floor. I'm not going to name him because what's the point? I don't even know if he's with us anymore. I know he developed lung cancer. That's my book available on Amazon. Ghislaine, Sensational and Pure. But
I bet that's a good book. Yeah.
I wanted, yeah, I need to do some more editing on it to put out a book too. Actually,
Oh,
yeah, thank you for displaying that. But the links, you click on those there's hot links. They're blue in the description. If you guys want to buy it, that's definitely appreciated. But this is written with the point of view of crime victim advocacy. I didn't write it to be salacious. The title for that book, Salacious and Impure, when the judge in New York refused to release information about the case and the victims, that judge said it's too sensational and impure to be released. And I said,
Oh.
perfect title for the book because in reality, I had a brief relationship with her and some of her adult assistants back in those days. And they tried to bring younger people into the room, women. And I said, no way. I'm not going there. And I sensed that the house was bugged. But how I met them was um, I met Jeffrey first. I was selling some jewelry to one of my fences in Palm Beach. Um, like I said, second floor diamond salon and this guy was there with a young girl. She looked like a Jodie Foster from Taxi Driver era, right? She looked like she was about 14, and they're talking to my friend, the jeweler slash fence, right? And don't forget, Worth Avenue is like Rodeo Drive in California. It's one of the highest end, straight
right.
shopping districts in the world.
Yeah.
So he saw me, said, I'll be with you in a few minutes. And I noticed, I guess the guy forgot I was there, didn't notice I was there. He was putting his hand down the back of the young girl's shorts, or her, down between her legs from behind. And while he's talking to the guy, like, like almost like for them a thrill. And I kind of coughed, like, hey, I'm right here. Like, that chick looks like really too young for you to be touching her in any way, especially in public or whatever you're doing. And he looked at me and stopped and all that. And then when they left a few minutes later, I told my friend, I said, look, I'll be back in a few minutes, gonna go grab some lunch. And I followed this guy. This guy turned out to be Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh,
I followed him.
Jesus.
Yep, I followed him up the street, up towards the ocean. A1A is right there, and you have the Atlantic Ocean. and some of the biggest mansions in the world are like, within 20 feet, 20 yards, 50 yards. The Kennedy Mansion, the Gucci Mansion, Rod Stewart's house, one of his houses, all these celebrities, uh, and he walked into a place called Taboo, right? I think it's still there. It's a very famous restaurant uh, on Worth Avenue, and so they got a table. I got a table, and eventually, I had tried to have him come over to talk to me, and he didn't really want to move because I guess he knew I was going to confront him about what I just saw. And without getting into a lot more detail, I eventually got him to come over, and I always carried a pistol with me with a silencer on it. Now, I I'm not going to say that I was some kind of hitman or anything, but I was trafficking, this stuff. I was involved with a lot of illegal stuff, and I was dealing with mob guys up in New York. I was dealing with Colombian traffickers and killers in South Florida, Cubans, and so I needed to have something with me. But usually those guys are only going to mess with you if you're ripping them off, not paying your bills, or telling on them, right? So
Right.
there was none of that going on in those days. Now everybody's cooperate. Everybody's nobody keeps their mouth shut these days. Everybody's you have to slap them to shut them up, right?
Yep.
So, but back then, people were getting left and right, and so for me, it was a matter of I was very much a loner. I didn't travel with people. I didn't put people in my business. I had one person that I trusted. He was a relative, and he's deceased now. God bless him. And that's it, because I already knew. I was very good. I was a skilled locksmith. I went to school for it. I was a safe and vault technician, alarm technician, and I had mob guys and guys in South Florida want to send me on heists all the time. Hey, Bill, I know where there's all this money, or a club owner lives here. There's all this cash in his house, or there's all these kilos, in this house, in that house. And I would find my own scores because if somebody sends you on a score, one, they know about it, they can tell on you, or you can get killed and they take everything. So I'd find my own. So I carried this gun, various guns, but mostly with a silencer on them, to send a message that I was maybe more dangerous than I actually was. Right? So it was more like a prop, but they were real. But I'm not going to say anything more than that. But so in this case, I pulled that on him under the table and I said, you want to give me a hard time about talking to you? I said, that girl looks like she's underage. I said, I've got a daughter, I've got a mother, and you're a real piece of crap. That girl looks like she's in her teens. And he, oh no, that's my niece and she's 18. And I'm like, 18-year-old niece, and you got your hand
Kissing
on the back of her.
cousins.
This is
Right.
Jeffrey Epstein. Right, this is Jeffrey Epstein, right? So I'm like, your niece. I said, who the hell puts their does that? And we bantered back and forth, and I said, sit right there, don't move. And I went over and sat with her, and I guess they got their story straight after they saw me follow him into Taboo. And she said the same thing, and I said, you're both full of shit. And now, excuse my language, guys. So I was wanted. I was a fugitive at the time. I made the mistake of telling him, uh, I'll say the guy's name. His name's Irv, the guy that owned the store. I said, Irv's a very good friend of mine. I've known him for years. He's got a ton of cameras in that place. I can go get the footage from him right now, and you could be locked up the rest of your life if she's underage. Because in Florida, the laws are all very strict, and they should be, especially crimes against kids.
Right.
So I made a mistake in telling him that. What I should have done is quietly went to him and obtained that footage, and then discreetly just like mailed it to the FBI or somebody. I wasn't all about cooperating with the cops, but on something like that, it was more about getting him
Right?
alone and and handling it. You
Right.
know what I mean? So there was no way to get him alone. There's cameras everywhere. I am not trying to make my legal situation any worse than it already was. But at the same time, I put him on notice, right? So then we started making small talk, and he kind of baited my greed a little bit. And basically I said, look, I come across the state jewelry all the time, blah blah blah. I wanted to find out who he was, and he says, oh, I buy jewelry all the time, and so we exchanged numbers, right? And that's how I stayed in touch with him, and then eventually was bringing some of this over to the mansion,
Right.
jewelry. And I think he did that just to keep tabs on me and figure out who I really was, because I always had a fake name. And after a while, I met Glenn, and yeah, it's one thing after the other. And so when I got close to her, it was things were starting to fall apart. And she had said to me, Jeffrey's going to be the death of me. And that's when she started opening up. And I was catching on what was going on. And she had said that I don't know how much I could say on the show without getting your channel taken down. Um,
William, was she sort of a victim also in a way, or was she
no, she was a straight freak and a spy and all kinds of weird stuff. She learned a
okay?
lot of this stuff. She learned a lot of this stuff. A lot of people don't know this, but she confided it to me, and I think it became public from other sources. She was actually, and I'm going to say allegedly just for legal reasons, molested by her father for years. He taught her to do anything it takes to please a man in her life and whatever it takes. Find a rich guy, do whatever he wants. And so
Okay,
she specifically told me that. I wrote some of this in the book, and
so
somebody
she's a
very, very
victim, and she's a victim of her childhood also.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, but it turned her into somebody who, because her father, what was his name, Maxwell, Robert Maxwell, he was supposedly MI6, and he was a big media guy, and he
Yep.
was alleged
Yeah,
to,
Mossad agent. They were Mossad,
yeah, and allegedly all these agencies are real big
allegedly,
on getting powerful people and compromised situations, and then they own them. So that
right?
Jeffrey was a pervert, and then you have her and him, and he's like an asset for these agencies, I guess Mossad and CIA allegedly, and then so she also comes into the fold with that sort of background, and they were the perfect team. Unfortunately, they were the perfect team for what they were doing. There's a lot more names going to drop, and I don't know what happened a few weeks ago. I've been going through some personal stuff. I know that I think it was Trump or a judge or somebody ordered the release of even more names.
Yeah.
I've been trying to stay on top of it and put out a second book, but I've named names in the book that have never been made public before. I gave
Really?
specifics about what I saw with Bill and Hillary, specific things that I saw myself on video that I was showed by Jeffrey Epstein. And then everybody said that once I put that in that book, I'm marked. I'm a target. So I track my every movement. I usually track myself by multiple ways. I usually have
Susie,
not a.
Yeah.
you need to
I
hide
make sure
William.
people. I make sure people know
What?
where I am.
You need to hide William.
No,
Um,
I'm not gonna. I can't go to Texas. No way would I ever go to Texas.
you would be safer here than you would be anywhere.
Yeah, sure. Gun battles at the gate with the cartel. I'll be real safe there.
No,
Oh
oh,
my
not
God.
anymore. Not
I
anymore.
know. I know. But yeah, so I would never think of going there.
Right?
Um, but yeah, so a lot of people, like every single person, it seems like, and I'm not making light of it. God bless Virginia. I can't even believe that news started right before we started talking about these people.
Yeah. Wu just popped on there and said, I got breaking news, and he posted
Oh
it. And I was
Lord.
like, whoa. And that's kind of odd because
I
we
have
have
been
you
warned
on.
I have been warned repeatedly since my book came out that I that's yeah whatever, that I'm in danger. So I mean, listen, they're pedophiles. It's not like I did a crime with somebody and then turned on them, or or bought something from somebody, or sold something to somebody and told on them. In my case, these are pedophiles and people that kill women and children. And guess what? I don't give a damn. If you have to deal with it personally or through law enforcement, it's got to be dealt with. You have to put them out of their misery. Now, I don't encourage violence, of course, right? But they got to be dealt with. So a friend of mine, by the way, Shane Coyle, Child Safety Soldiers, you guys might know him. He is the original guy doing the online stings against these predators. And so I jumped on with him and a lawyer named Ali from Pennsylvania the other day. And he's on Dr. Phil. He's going back on Dr. Phil in a few days. And we're going to be doing a lot of collaboration together. So I'm not going to say what that is, but you can only imagine.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So shout out to Shane Coyle. And he's a hero, man. He's got like I think 600 or 700 pedophiles arrested over the years.
Whoa.
He's the one that trains like bikers against predators. He's like the guy that trains all these other groups. All right, drop you.
You went upside down.
Now what? I don't even
You're
have a
doing
Yeah.
picture.
cartwheels on us now, William. Hey, there you are.
I figured it out. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh man, what kind of crazy news! I'm like in this weird state right now, just hearing that.
Right?
But you know what? It's a reminder for me about how cautious I need to be. Uh,
Yeah. You need to always be checking your surroundings and
these
definitely.
are billionaires and very very powerful people who are trying to keep this story quiet, and it's like whack a mole because everybody's starting to go public, And I think
Right.
I'm one of the few males that was actually in that house that has come public and said, it was really weird over there, and I was offered a participation, and I refused. And as a matter of fact, I got evidence out of there and sent it to 2 different agencies, and that stuff completely disappeared. This is before his first arrest. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, when I get out of prison, I went over there to film at the mansion, right? We went down to Florida. You know, I have a lot of connections in South Florida. I'm from Brooklyn, but I got a lot of South Florida connections. So I go down there to catch up and think about moving back down there. And I wanted to do some filming at the house, because I don't know what's that shadow is on my face. Is that my mirror? What the hell is that? Like right
Could
here.
be.
I hope it's not like a gun or something. What the hell?
No. I would tell you if that's what it was. I would be like, not, don't panic or anything, William. Just duck.
This lighting situation is terrible. Oh wow, look at that! I put on the mirror light and the overhead visor. How's that?
There you go.
Do
Now we
I
can
look?
see you.
Do I look red or do I look tan?
You look like you have a sunburn. Yeah.
That's the one in the mirror that you flip open in the visor. All right, so we'll try that for a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, you freak me out, man. I almost wish we could take a commercial break, and I want to research this real quick, but
We do
if
take
you're,
a 5 minute we do take a 5 minute bathroom coffee break if you want to.
Are
We
you
could
going
do
to be
that.
able to get back in if we do that?
Huh?
it really broke my concentration of a lot of things I wanted to say and talk about. It's
William, are
very
you?
very it's very 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 serious, especially to people that know things. And like, I'm in touch with some of the lawyers still, and some of the victim advocate lawyers, some of the biggest names you've heard of on the case. Like, I'm in touch with them, and I know there's more stuff coming up, and I can't really get into it.
William,
And now
I
they're
just,
starting. They're starting. I don't think she did that herself. I have to read. You have to
William,
convince me that she did that to herself. I don't
I
believe it.
know, right? There's a lot of that going on, but William, I just ordered that book.
You just
Did
ordered
you?
William's book. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Uh, Thank you. I would have sent you an autograph copy. I'll autograph it when I see you. We'll see each other one of these days. I want to give you a shout out. I do know one thing about you, Brenda, and I don't know how much my fans know about you. You were in law enforcement. I think you were involved in some kind of shootout, and you lost your leg. You were a police officer, right? Did your partner lost his life? I think when that in that case was that you?
No, it was another one. I was supposed to be doing something that weekend, but while I was losing my leg, he was taking my place, and he got shot and killed.
Oh.
Well,
So, yeah.
listen. My prayers are with you. I've always admired you. I have. Um, just because I chose a life of crime, I was designated career criminal, habitual offender, all this nonsense. My last conviction in crime was 25 years ago. I had encounters with really dirty cops, and I had encounters with really good cops. There's good and bad in every man, and I don't despise law enforcement just because of the poor choices I made, right? And because of the few that, you know, ran me over or pepper sprayed me when I didn't need it, or when I was handcuffed, broke my ribs. I've been in all those situations, because there's been very decent ones also. So respect law enforcement and the military and firemen and stuff like that. So I have nothing but respect for you, and I'm sorry what happened to you. I have co-hosts on my show, Ignacio Esteban, on William Steele True Crime on YouTube, guys. If you want to follow it, I'm trying to build my numbers up over there. If I could get my millions of fans over there, I'd be getting rich off of YouTube,
Well,
because
let's, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and have Susie have her son wipe that laptop out. Now, I got that laptop and I used it for 5 months before I got my big computer. I took it to Susie's. Susie
Okay.
hasn't used it, so it's not that old. If he wipes everything out, you can put everything in it of your own. I'll get her to go ahead and put it in. It comes in a Ziploc satchel bag.
Shit.
What are you doing? Don't break nothing.
I'm trying to. This is it right here.
Yes.
Okay.
It's one of the thin ones, but it'll hold quite a bit. I used to run the shows on here until
Yeah, it has
I
a
started
stand with it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
got one
thank
of
you
those
guys.
things underneath
Listen,
it that holds it.
I've really been blessed, and I know, like, there's a lot of people with dusty laptops and things around they're not using. I don't care if it's used or new, man. It's just a blessing, and I'm very thankful, Brenda. I see it. The gentleman Andy standing by here, and before I go more into my story, Andy, how you doing?
This is Andy. Andy has been with Susie and I forever. He usually stays muted, He is my reminder when it's time to close things down and this and that. Um, he doesn't really say anything unless we make him unmute and say something. Say hi, Andy.
Hi.
I thought he was taking it all in and was going to ask me the difficult questions once he's processed all this. I said,
No,
"Oh man, this guy's going to hit me with some zingers in a minute."
Andy says, trust me, we have had people on here that have told strange stories. So this is mild compared to some of the things we've had.
You
This is
haven't
real
heard.
life stuff.
You haven't heard the weirdest stories yet. We'll get to those another time.
We might have
I
to do this in several parts.
I have lost my concentration over Virginia's passing, and God bless her soul. Thank you so much. We encourage victims to come forward. Contact me. I have a new email. I'll give it out right here. Steel. Was it Steel?
Actually, you don't
Was it?
have to do that. I can do it for you.
Yeah,
Uh,
we can to keep things discreet. We have different people that can help you if you've been a victim of things like this. Um, I'm not a police officer. I'm not law enforcement. I don't, work with law enforcement, but we have a ton of connections that can help you to get your truth out. And if you want to come public, come public. But if you come on my show, I'm going to vet you. I've
is
had two con artists try to get on my show, and they're cut off, and that's it.
it the same email that you've been using to email me, or is this
Yep.
one a different
Yes.
one?
Yes.
It's the
Yes.
same. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I
So,
will.
I've had somebody lock me out of my own emails, go into all my accounts, divert my royalties. I don't even know what's going on. I have no way. I'm just lost about how to fix most of this stuff. And I've asked and begged and helped, and God bless them, but I don't understand why all that's necessary to just ignore me. Anyway, guys, silent partners. I'm in this movie. This is from Dances with Films. We had the worldwide premiere in now I'm in this movie with got big actors like Gary Pastor. He's been like in 100 Mafia movies and shows. Uh, Joseph D'Onofrio. He's in Goodfellas and Bronx Tale, Gravesend series. He's in Raising Cain on Stars Network. Joseph and I became. We had a really good skit going on a red carpet in New York, and Joseph is very well known. If you see him, you know who he is, and he wants to play me in a drama series and feature film about my life. So
Oh,
I
how
don't.
funny.
I don't know. We don't look a lot alike, but who knows?
You would be good at. You're so funny. You'd be good in it. And
I
playing your
play
own part.
myself. I know,
Yeah.
but I gained weight. I lost my muscle bound physique and some of my hair.
They could have a younger you and then come to you, right?
Yeah, I think with AI they can probably age me backwards. Um, they do that with all these like they like I don't think anybody likes that guy with the mole anymore. What's his name? De Niro, because he showed himself to
Oh,
be
yeah.
a complete dingbat. But anyway, everybody used to think he was great, and now we know. But he like these older actors that are really good, they're aging them backwards and using AI versions of them to
Huh.
act. Yep.
That's pretty interesting. Well, Brenda, you want to take a 5-minute coffee break, bathroom break?
We can. Now
Okay.
I will tell everybody. I know we got our new music and everything, but we hadn't planned on doing the break music, so it's gonna be our old. We'll be right back music. So I know everybody likes the new one, but we'll
Hey,
get another one made. I just got to, Steve is doing so much. I just want to make sure he has time for himself to, do his stuff too. So,
by the way, Brenda,
yes.
if you have people that are in there in the chat, let me know the names. I had a few people that said they're going to try to join us, and if they have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer questions, and we have a lot more that I want to talk about. But I want to try to see really what's the situation with Virginia, because I've literally been threatened for what I wrote inside that book.
Yeah. I'm hoping that you'll be able to get back in when you go back out to go do that.
Now we're going to slide this to the side. I think that'll work, right? Or no?
I don't know. I've never tried that before. I don't use iPhones.
All right,
So
maybe somebody else can research it while we're off, and I won't play with it right now.
yeah, I don't know if Woo is
That
still on
that
there.
sounded weird.
One of our guests could probably research it during the break. Yeah. We have
Susie,
check
didn't catch that
Norma was
one.
really good. Norma, look
Mob.
that up for me.
There's a Mob Rules. Is that one of your friends? Mob Rules.
Actually, that's somebody from that other show I told you I go and I mod at in the middle of the night.
Okay.
That is somebody from there.
Hello,
So
Mob Rules. Send
I
us the
didn't
links.
expect Mob to come over here. I'm really glad.
Tell me his links. I'll subscribe and check me out. William Steele True Crime on YouTube, and also Inmate to Roommate on A&E Network, Hulu, and Crime 360 Network. And we have another reality show coming up. Oh, by the way, I met Muhammad Ali's wife in Florida. She wants to do a show with me. Go figure. So,
Oh, that's neat.
Wow.
And Matt Cox, True Crime. I'm pitching a situation that we may be doing something together with. Very, very serious. Matt Cox, a mortgage fraud guy. He's on home title lot commercials on history, not on history, on like Fox and CNN. He's always on, and he puts me on his show. I get millions of views. So he's like, I don't know what it is about you. You come on and people love you. I get millions of views. Come on anytime you want. But now we're collaborating to put together another reality show.
Right. All right, everybody, we're going to take a 5-minute break, so please stand by, and we will be back with Mr. William Steele. we are back. Oh, Brenda does not look at me.
What?
I forgot I shut my face off. I did that just in case I didn't make it back in time.
Well, I'll tell you what. So, I'm not driving while doing the show. Right?
Okay,
That's good.
we believe you. We see absolutely nothing moving in the background.
I might be a passenger in a 100-mile-an-hour Cadillac here.
Maybe. You never know. So, with all this stuff with Epstein and Maxwell, you were selling the jewelry and the art and stuff to them and just people in that circle.
Were they getting good deals, William?
Uh,
But it's not
No.
that bad.
no,
No.
no, they were getting
They,
stolen jewelry. They were getting stolen jewelry at exorbitant prices, while I was trying to figure out a way to rip off Epstein.
Right? Don't you start, little man. You hear this, Norma? He's got run amok at the mouth, this dog today. Putin, stop. Come here. Net.
You know what I might do? I might not go that way. I might go this way.
So what did we find out? Did anybody look up anything on the person?
No, I couldn't get off this.
Let me
I
see.
couldn't get off my.
No, it's okay. I think
I can go-
Norma, did you happen to look that up? What Wu wrote earlier about that girl that they found that unalived herself, supposedly. The one with that put out the Epstein stuff. Let's see. She recently separated from her husband of 22 years, it says.
Oh, recently, huh?
Yeah.
That's a pretty traumatic.
William, you ought to know as well as I know that doesn't really matter. They can use anything for an excuse. We might not be able to find out.
I think she got a big settlement of about, what was it, $20 or $30 million.
Oh, well.
Whoa.
I forget how much it was for. I think the state had to pay or something.
Well,
Like
that's no reason.
his brother Mark, I think it was Mark, had control of the estate. Epstein's brother, was it Mark?
I don't know. I usually don't hear about this stuff till at night or the next day. So
That's weird because I just told you today that Michael Jaco, is that how you say his name?
right. Yeah, his
son just the same situation.
Yeah.
Which is really bizarre. Yeah. His older son. I don't know how old he was, in his 30s maybe.
Yeah, there you go. That was a good look, William, right underneath the American flag. Will you sit there and
what is Jaco's job title, Brenda? What was he? He was FBI or
SEAL team.
SEAL team. They did remote viewing and stuff like that, right?
I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, he is a CIA operative, like other people that we know. That's my opinion. I mean, I may or may not have heard that from credible sources. You know.
Norma said CIA. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, I may or may not have heard that from a credible source. So. See, BBC has an article, and all it says is the same information. So it didn't say how she died. Yeah, we might. It probably would have to. I'd have to check a few other sources later on tonight, or early in the morning. I think that is usually when I can probably get a hold of somebody. So and try to find out a little bit more. And then I do have your number, William, so I can always talk to you tomorrow. if you hadn't heard anything yet.
Selfie sticks didn't exist. I invent one. Killing me.
What's the temperature out there?
I don't know, but it was nice and warm earlier today. It feels like it's like 40 right now.
Why are you out of
Okay.
the car? Get back in there.
Okay.
Where you catch pneumonia out there. Get in the car.
All right.
40. That's pretty cold.
So listen to this,
Yeah.
everybody. So I'm in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I have a cable show out here called Steal the Spotlight, and I'm starting a public relations firm, Steal the Spotlight. And if you want to be a guest on my show, you know how to reach me. I think she was going to put something up. It's freezing, and you know what? The flag's nice, but I can't figure out how to get it in the shot good at this moment.
Susie, Steve told me to tell you that he's Hot Wheel hunting. Leave him alone.
He's what?
He's Hot Wheel running. Leave him, Hot Wheel hunting. Leave him alone. Steve is another guy that comes on. He's the one that does our videos and stuff, and he does Hot Wheel hunting, and he has quite a vast collection, and runs an eBay store. So he does it every now and then. He'll get on and he'll be out hunting while he's got his phone on. Denise, I see that. Thank you. I'll look that over and see if I can see anything on it.
I promise everybody, next time we do a show, I will be in a more stable environment.
And hopefully we can get that.
I was in a situation recently where somebody was so cruel to me and another individual that I literally was like in the car for like 2 days in 20-degree temperatures. And no matter what I said about like warm clothes or a blanket, it was falling on deaf ears. And I'm like, in my worst day, I wouldn't treat an enemy like that, you know?
Oh,
Right?
man.
But you can't convince people when people are laying under the blankets and they're over medicated and they don't give a damn about anything but sleeping. They don't feel your suffering. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
So,
I did watch.
Like I said,
I did watch one of your inmates to roommates.
You did?
Last night? Yeah, actually a couple of them.
They're pretty funny.
Dude, I do not know how you lived with that woman. I'd have slapped her. Her and her husband are crazy people.
Mag Chop
That's
Kenny.
what I said.
Mag Chop Kenny is an actor and a designer and a great guy in Florida. He's an up and coming guy with acting. He was a former Chicago gang member. I interviewed him on my show. He's become a good friend. We met in Florida. And I interviewed him. I said, "Did you watch my show?" He goes, "Yeah, it was what a crazy thing." He says, "And that woman." He's so funny, man. Oh my god. So shout out to Mag Chop for Casa Vega. What?
And I thought to myself, okay, one thing that clicked in my mind was when they said, "I don't know what he's doing in his bathroom." And I thought to myself, well, if it's his bathroom, it's none of your business.
Right.
What? It doesn't matter if you sleep in there on the floor in the bathtub. It's none of their business.
Okay, so I'll tell your audience what Inmate to Roommate's all about. It's a spinoff of Love After Lockup. Basically, Love After Lockup, people get out of prison, male or female, and they live with their romantic interest, and the cameras follow them around and see what drama ensues. In my show, made by the same people, Sharp Entertainment, thank you, Sharp Entertainment, and my producer, Joe Ruzer, I love you, Joe. Listen, it's about getting out of prison, and the surface press release was saying it's to show how lack of adequate housing upon release impacts recidivism rates, repeat offender rates, as much as relapse on drugs or alcohol. And so people who generally go back to the same environment they came out of, so in my case, my sisters, and I'll say this publicly because I have the proof, stole my inheritance, told my mentally ill mother that I was dead. Okay, had her sign a bunch of papers, whatever. I got nothing, and they lied to the judge and said my mother wasn't mentally ill. Secret Service stepped in and said, "Oh no, she is." And here's the record of when she sent the president my photo with a gun pointed at the camera when I was a kid. For no reason whatsoever. So yeah. Oh, I didn't tell you that. So I got forever. I'm on the list of like potential presidential assassins, even though I was like 12. And so they released me after they interviewed her psychiatrist and found her and realized she was harmless. God bless my mom. I love my mom. And so she's passed on. My father's passed on. And so another incident happened, really crazy. I got arrested or detained for attempting to skyjack a plane to Cuba. So I've had quite the crazy life. You're going to have to read about that one in my autobiography. And I never tried to skyjack a plane to Cuba, but they threw me up against the X-ray machine and basically, pulled my pants open in front of everybody. And I was like 18, 19 years
Oh,
old at this time, flying out of South Florida, 1981, right during the Mariel, right after the Mariel boat lift, when all the Cubans were, Castro had evacuated his
oh
prisons and
yeah.
jails,
The
and
age.
so yeah, so I flew out of South Florida during the time when there was 11 skyjackings back to Cuba. People that were put on boats involuntarily wanted to go back. Maybe they wanted to, they wanted to off the witnesses against him or whatever. But he cleaned out his prison and psychiatric places and put them on civilian boats of regular families and said, if you want to leave, I'll let you leave, but you got to load your boat up with prisoners and this and that. Something like Venezuela, I think, did to us recently. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I flew out during the week when there was 11 skyjackings, and my brother-in-law, Italian guy, stocky, looks like he could be Cuban. That day, he had a gun on him. He had a Beretta 25 on an ankle holster, and he says, "There, I got my piece on me, man. I'll drop you off here and let you go because I'm not going through security." I said, "Okay." I go up to the ticket window, and the lady looks me over. I'm paying in cash. It's one way. It's this. It's that. She puts her big red P on my ticket jacket and circles it. I used to fly a lot, and I never saw anybody write something on my ticket jacket. That stands for profile because he left me there. I paid in cash, one way ticket out of South Florida. The FBI and all these other agencies had these airports under surveillance, and I fit the profile, a lone male in that age group at that time, flying alone. So when they got me and they pulled me in the interrogation room, they I said, "What part of them from Brooklyn don't you understand? I got blue eyes and freckles. I am not Cuban. I am not trying to take this plane to Cuba." They made me miss my flight, and then they put me in a taxi back after they made a mistake. They realized they made a mistake. I missed the flight. They put me back in a taxi back to my sister's house, and they said, "Well, where's the guy you were with?" And I said, "That's my brother-in-law. Where'd he go?" And because I knew we had something with him, I said, "I'm not sure where he went. I think he went, he went to Orlando, but really he was going to Miami, right?" I'm sitting on a wild goose chase. And so I said, "I don't really know where he went. He had some business to handle. I think he went north to Miami." 'Cause I didn't want them to pull him over and have the thing on him, right? So then they sent me back to my sister's house in a taxi, and they put on a voucher to pay for the taxi that they're returning lost luggage. So the FBI, Wackenhut Security, Air Florida at the time were all liable. The security was liable. The FBI was liable for like a false arrest sort of thing and detainment and all that, and humiliation because they opened my pants in front of the passengers and threw me up against the conveyor belt,
Oh my
and then
God.
handcuffed me and drug me off. I'm like, what the hell? And then they realized I have a Brooklyn accent and I have blue eyes. I have and I'm like, I'm not from Cuba. So bottom line, I got the taxi driver's name. I told him what happened. I says, I'm going to need you as a witness. I'm suing these people because I had something to do in New York. Now I'm going to miss that too. And I need you to be able to testify that I'm not luggage. I'm a human being. And he says, okay, I'll do that. We got his name. I got a lawyer. We sued. I got a quick settlement. I think it was from the security company from Air Florida, whatever it was. It wasn't much. It was like 10 grand or something. And the FBI, it would take forever to get anything out of them. So we just kind of dropped the rest of the case. Um, but yeah, I was arrested for attempted skyjacking to Cuba. Go figure.
God. See, they couldn't
Wow.
do that with me. I
And
don't
then
like
you
to
wonder
fly.
why I turned up. You wonder why I turned up so screwed up. Man,
So, how old were you when you got incarcerated?
which time?
Well, you spent 18 years. Was it broken 18 years or full?
It wasn't my first rodeo. My record is not that good. Um, but the thing is, when you get convicted of a few things, they start scoring your past against you.
Yeah.
It's a score system in the sentencing
Uh-huh.
guidelines and all that. Every
Yeah.
state does it slightly differently. Everything is a little different here and there. So in New York, it was like this. When I started, I graduated locksmithing school, New York School of Locksmithing. I started a locksmith company, but I always wanted to be James Bond and the guy working for the CIA, the FBI, getting into everything, being able to pull anything off. Um, for the greater good. I wanted to be the guy because I was always protective of the underdog, like my people, like my mom. And so to me, it was a natural extension. But I was also influenced by all the crime in my area, and it was a great area, but it was a lot of mafia and scams and schemes and murders and stuff. And so I didn't really want to be part of those guys because I knew all this BS about the mob and the loyalty and all that is really not true. All the things they say they don't do, they do exactly the opposite. They steal from each other. They try to screw each other's wives and girlfriends and all this stuff. And they're just most of it's full of crap. And it's an ideal that you see on The Godfather, but the reality, virtually every one of them turns on each other. And then these days they're on TV talking about it. How they were witnesses and this. So I sensed it back then. I kind of knew the streets, and I never really got close to that. But I I decided to start taking those skills, and I was hitting jewelry stores, I was hitting houses, I was hitting restaurants, and it's for me it takes nothing to pick a lock or open a safe or circumvent an alarm system, especially back then. And so I was making a lot of money, and these lights are on a timer, so I gotta
That's fine.
unless
Steve,
unless
go
my
out
back
and come
unless
back in. I heard you come in, but I don't see you, Steve. So go out and
I
come
don't
back
know.
in. No, not you. I was talking to Steve. I heard him
Yeah,
come in, but I didn't see him anywhere. I don't know what is going on today with this.
So, how old were you when you went to when they caught you on the burglary charges? How old were you then, William?
if I told you, when I was a young man, they put me in a burlap bag and beat me with a brick. You remember that from Austin Powers? I love those
Yep.
movies. And so, yeah, how old was I? I don't know. Like, there was a couple of different incidents here and there, and I couldn't hear the question because I got something in my eye there. But so, the one that ended up in the one that ended up in the big sentence, I was probably, I don't know, late 30s or something like that. And then so I made it worse. I escaped from prison, and then I
Was
got
that
more
in
time from.
Florida? Or is that
Let's
you served
just
time in Florida or New York?
A little bit in New York, a little bit in Las Vegas, and then Florida, and then Florida saw me as a severe escape risk, and they shipped me off to Virginia to. And I thought I was getting out of Supermax. I was in Supermax solitary for like 4 years after the escape, and I actually wasn't
Wow.
alone. I wasn't alone the whole time. They would put cellmates with me and all that, but the classification system's not that good. The gangs basically run the prisons. The officers, just several. There's many good ones, but they get run out. They get run out by the bad that's going on because a lot of the other ones are bringing in the dope and the phones and all that stuff, and especially in those days. And then the women are selling themselves a lot of times to the inmates, making money or bringing dope in, and so nobody's learning much of anything unless you decide to take it upon yourself to say, I've had enough of this crap. So there's a line in the Passion of the Christ. Have the days of darkness caused you to see the light? So in my case, yes. My father died when I was a fugitive. I couldn't go to the funeral. My mother died when I was in prison. I couldn't go to the funeral. And my sisters ripped me off for my inheritance, and it is what it is. I forgive them for the record, but I'll never deal with them again, and I don't give a damn if they're watching this. They know I have the proof about what they did, and my allegations are in open court. And they only won because my hands were tied. I was in prison. I had nobody outside to help me. So
Wow.
Yeah.
otherwise, it's undue influence all day long because they've got a falsified affidavit from the lawyer. The judge asked the lawyer to provide an affidavit about why I was excluded from the trust agreement, and he fraudulently said, "Oh, I remember Eleanor like it was yesterday. She was visibly mentally ill. She had tics from the medication.
Oh no.
It's called tardive dyskinesia. She had all these things going on. You knew my mother was mentally ill when you met her." He lied and said she was perfectly normal. There was no indication of mental illness. And when I asked her how many siblings there was, when nobody else in the room, I asked the sisters to leave the room, and she mentioned William. And why does she want to leave William out of the trust agreement? And she said, he's an embarrassment. He's always in and out of prison. Well, guess what? At the time she signed that agreement, I had never even once been to prison. So he lied on the affidavit to the judge. The judge believed it, gave my sisters everything. The lawyer who drafted the trust agreement lied. So
Wow.
I got
So
screwed over.
yeah, crooked
So,
lawyers.
so William,
Yeah.
this is Steve. He's the one that helps me out with my computer flunky stuff that I have to
Hey,
do
Steve.
because I'm stupid. But
Yeah, I wanted you, William. I wanted you to meet Steve, and Steve, I wanted you to meet William because Steve's really good with computer stuff. William,
yeah,
and
we're gonna
I think he could help you. Yeah.
we're going to go ahead and have Susie send that laptop to William so he's got something other than his iPhone. Not that I have anything against iPhones. I don't like them. But, you know, you need to have a computer. Will make it a lot easier for you to do your stuff.
It's
So,
crazy. The person that's trying to keep my thing told numerous people, "Oh, it's his. I'm going to take my files off of it." Doesn't even like Apple products. You know, it's all about Windows. And I'm like, well, then, okay, you don't want to, go through the normal process to work things out. You don't want to admit that you have a problem with such and such. You want to make false accusations. You want to keep things that don't belong to you. And
yeah.
yet I'm the thief. I'm the this, I'm the that. Yeah, I was all that years ago. By the way,
And
guys, I'm running for president in 2028. I've already announced it. I've got over 1 million
oh,
fans
so
all
am
over.
I.
Oh no.
Actually, I
All
think
right.
I'm just going to run for governor of Texas.
Well, my co-host Ignacio is running for Congress one day in Virginia, and I announced I'm running for president. And then so
And
my
I'm going to be
platform's going to be
running for cows.
you're running for forest fires. You're always making fires over there. So
I know.
you know what my platform's going to be?
You know, that's right.
I'm gonna get right up there, like the other guy said. I'm not a crook. This guy Nixon. So he declares a war on drugs in like what June of 1971. So I always say that I've been a prisoner of the war on drugs, and my first obligation when I was in prison was to escape, but eventually I did. So they said, yeah, but you weren't that kind of prisoner of war. I don't care. President Nixon declared it. War on drugs, June of 1971.
True.
So here's going to be my speech and my spiel, something like this. I'm kind of working it out. It's going to be like, I was a thief and a liar and a womanizer, and I might still be some of those things. But you know what? At least with me, I'm not hiding it. So let's forget about that because the other guys lie about all that stuff to get elected. I'm telling you the truth. It is what it is. Let's move on and talk about issues in the country. Just this way they can't dig and say, "Oh, you've been to prison or you have 15,000 girlfriends or whatever your situation is." Okay, been there, done that. Now it's time to work on the
No,
issues of the
I'm
country.
going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what would sink you, and this is from a honest answer here. What would sink you is the affiliation you have with Epstein and Maxwell.
No, because I wasn't in my right mind. I I was under duress. I was not. I was never a such and such addict, right? But I
Yeah,
was indulging pretty heavily. We were trafficking it. We had tons of it around, and I was not in my right mind. And the other one there, look, I'm a young guy at the time, and younger than I am now, and I mean, really, not much has changed, but Glenn Maxwell brought a lot to the table in terms of what a man's interested in as far as herself and her adult assistant. And so, yeah, I was all about, I don't know what I can say on here, but I didn't mind the occasional threesome with adult women, right? So she was, it was, she got my attention and I fell for it for a little while. But then once I saw the other crap they were into, I just had to get out of there.
did you know about his island?
I
Any
don't
chance?
think I ever heard about it until like years later when I started to be reporting in the media. I mean, that wasn't, I guess, for me to know. It was for them and their billionaire friends and the women that they were taking advantage of. It wasn't for like
True.
somebody like me. So
True.
I
I
believe
mean,
that island was for entrapment.
yeah,
right,
For all
Entrapment
of the
Island, Entrapment
leaders that
Island.
were involved.
Yeah,
Business.
good
yeah.
good point.
I don't
And it,
really doubt that at all, honestly. Yeah. There's a I think that we have been in this situation with the things that go on today for so many decades and so many generations that it is going to take an act of God to help fix what is wrong, because it's been going on for so long that and people, I started to notice when Obama was president that they started to try to normalize a lot of things for people, putting
did
it
you
in front of
notice
their
that?
faces.
I noticed that too. But God forbid you should say that. Oh man.
I blame Obama for everything. I always say that. I don't care. It's all Obama's fault.
Hey, that meme, thanks Obama, is pretty true.
Yeah.
Because
Well, and I
happening
can't
today that
really
we're
say
dealing
that
with.
either because, Bush had his hand in there too. Both of them.
Yeah, but Obama being the first, they say black,
Yeah.
but he's half black, half white. Okay, the first white president. I mean, why do they? So we shouldn't make it a racial thing. He really had a chance to bring healing. Instead, he increased the divide in this country 1,000-fold.
Yes, he
So,
did. He
and
he did that. He made it so that it was okay for the mainstream media to cause propaganda and lies, and they have stuck to that. And that upsets me because it used to be that journalism was awesome. They would go out to these storms, they would go out to all these places and do reporting. Now they all sit in an office, they show up for work in the morning, they pull their facts out of their machine, they read it, and that's what they're to put out. Whether they believe it, whether they want to or not, that's what they do.
Hey, by the way, my other book, Sex and the Serial Killer, about the wealthiest serial killer in American history, Robert Durst. My
Yes.
co-author, my co-author is a legendary true crime writer and has been with one of the stellar newspapers in the entire planet for about 20 years. One of the top guys over there, Gary Greenberg, is one of the top writers with the National Enquirer. I love Gary. He's one of my best friends. I stay at his house all the time when I go to Boca Raton. And Tom Madden, as a former vice president of NBC, he introduced me to to Mary. Everybody knows who Mary is. Yeah, so he's a
Well,
stellar journalist. It's funny because I stay in a room and the Kangaroo Kid, with the kangaroo legs. He wrote a big article about this guy for one of the National Examiner years ago. It was one of their publications, and that's actually his son on there, where they photoshopped the kangaroo legs on him.
God.
Hey, you know what's
So,
funny? I,
so
I go, I go, like
does
I'm
that
sleeping
mean
in one
he's
room.
a? Does that
I'm
mean
sleeping.
he's a?
I'm sleeping in the guest bedroom, and the National Enquirer is basically written in the next room. So I'm not going to tell you like inside stuff, but I could tell you this one story. So there's a manuscript that he gets from O.J. Simpson, the one "If I Did It," right? The book. He's trying to make money. He puts the
Yeah.
acronym for like his kids' names in the company to try to throw people off. And so the National Enquirer pays a girlfriend of his big money to steal the manuscript. Well, not to steal it, to bring it over to them for a minute to copy it, right? And she brings the original from OJ's house with all the markings on it with his handwriting in blue pen or whatever it was, all over the
Uh-oh.
manuscript.
Oops.
The Enquirer copied it, gave her back the copy to put back in OJ's study. I said, man, you guys could have got that girl killed. It wasn't OJ running around killing people. They returned the photocopy to the girl, the poor girl. Can you imagine
Oh
getting something like that
man.
from OJ? And then, what happened to my original? Oh my God, somebody sold it to the media.
Oh,
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Susie's had a.
and then he was invited to Ivana Trump's wedding because Gary used to write there was an advice column in the Enquirer with Ivanka Trump picture, right? And the one who passed away fell down the stairs, or whatever. So
Yes.
he she gave permission for her name and her image, but Gary did the advice when the people would write in asking questions. He said basically people would write in or we would just make up the question. He said I wrote the answers. She didn't do anything but give us her image. It was her advice column. That's
Yeah.
like
Susie
hearing
had
that.
a run
That's
in with
like hearing
them.
that Pee Wee Herman was really, writing things for Dear Abby.
Susie had a run in with them. Her.
yeah.
Actually, seeing that guy. I wonder if you can get me a copy of that. Can they
Of
get old
what?
ones?
She's got a
Of
copy of it.
course.
Susie sent it to me. I saw her in the National Enquirer.
Let me
I
see.
know
Hold on.
she has it. She has hers, but I want one, and they don't have them anymore.
Uh,
I've been in the National Enquirer like 4 times so far over
What?
Epstein
What do you
and
do? Oh
Maxwell. But
yeah.
my relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, I was in the Enquirer and I was in there for knowing Robert Durst and writing the book about him.
Now, did you know him outside of prison?
I was never in prison with Durst.
You know, it's funny that you say that because I was looking through, you know, I do a different show also on my platform. I do the spooky locations and I was looking and I found like the ABC killer that they never solved the crime. Of course, we all know the Zodiac. So I was looking through those and I ran across, of all people, Thirsk. And I was like, oh, hang on, here's a one because there's her National Enquirer. Susie on the front page, National Enquirer.
Throw that cover up on
here it
the
is. Page 3.
Susie.
Page 3. That was March 14th, 2000. That was 25 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
How could that be when you're only 23?
I know, right? How'd that happen?
Hey, so on the Durst thing, you have a copy of my book. You have the cover. Can you put the cover up so your
Well,
fans
here's
can
where I
see it?
made the front page of the
Oh, yeah.
Akron Beacon Journal with my pony.
Is that the
Cindy?
pony? Your pony?
Yeah.
Susie with her pony.
Susie and her pony.
Everywhere Suzanne went. And that was, let's see, what year was that? I think that was in April Fools, 1971.
Wow.
So, yeah. Well, I made the front page of the Austin Statesman and the front page of the Jacksonville paper also. I don't know what that obsession with me on the front page of all these papers were for.
I don't know what you were doing.
She walked a pony through town all the time. She was known for that. So
Well, of course she did. I mean,
it's
if
like
I was a little kid,
I think they call that like a human interest story, right?
yeah.
That's Frank. That's Frank. Frank's book. That's Frank Lordy.
Oh,
Frank Lordy.
Well, here. Well, this wasn't the front page, but what is this?
Hang on, let me find your other one.
Ahead,
Okay,
Susan.
that was me and Buck Steiner and my daughter in the Austin Statesman, but that wasn't. It didn't make the front page on that one, but you know, yeah, it just talked about us.
Buck Steiner.
I always said
Steiner Saddles.
Yeah, it's what inquiring minds want to know. Everybody wants to know what Susie's doing. I don't know why.
I always call you and say, Susie, what are you doing?
Besides burning down the pasture? Yeah. Did you, hey, show that picture to everybody that I took. I sent you from the fire because everybody's like talking about me and my fires.
I had to laugh the other day. I was watching one of Glenn's news shows and he showed fires in New Jersey, I think it was. And so I made a comment and said, damn, I better call Susie and see what she's doing because I was like, oh my gosh. So this is the one, William, the Sex and the Serial Killers.
Right. And that gold Grace covered that book. First book put out. Wrote that Gary Greenberg. Right.
Uh-oh. You're breaking up.
Breaking up a little bit.
Gary Greenberg's my co-author there on the book. He worked for the National Enquirer. And that book, if you look in the gold stripe on the top left, it's got Nancy Grace's name on it because she covered my book on her podcast while I was still in prison. And so thank you, Nancy. So we were going to collaborate with her on something, but she has some kind of contract with I think Oxygen Network, so we couldn't do a deal with her. But yeah, she covered my book, and I do appreciate it. You guys there?
Yeah, I am here.
Okay, everybody, 20 push-ups.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
I just feel like my face is like red this whole show because this brown light. Look, it's in the visor. See the visor?
It doesn't look bad.
You sure? Okay. I just feel like I'm like American Indian or something. My cheeks are so chubby, man. I really need to lose some more weight. Oh my God. Meanwhile, I'm starving. I've got to figure out how to.
Hey, Brenda, show everybody that picture of my little fire that I took after I did it. The after effect. I sent it to you. William, I sent it to you, and you said it looked like the apocalypse or something, right?
Yeah, like Armageddon, man. It was beautiful.
Armageddon, yeah.
Susie's setting the world on fire, everybody. Let me just let you know now. Okay.
What'd you say about Arm in the Ghetto? What?
Arm in the Ghetto.
The Battle of Armageddon. There it is.
Because Susie's setting the whole world on fire. Check her out.
Yeah, there it is.
Well, that's why her last name. I'm not going to say it here. I don't know if she says it publicly.
Yeah, you can say it. It's hot. Yeah.
Yeah. See, William, look, here it is. Here it is. Let me tell you a little something about me and Susie. Okay. I've had the military at my door. I have been contacted by the FBI. I don't care. I'm in Texas and I know my rights, so they can leave. Get off my doorstep. That's the way I feel.
Why are they at your door?
Because we had Penny Bradley and she was talking about UFOs. Well, and the FBI came to her house and wanted to know
she used to have
information about Penny Bradley.
She used to have what they call Q clearance. And
are you talking about the one who says she's Agent 11?
No.
That's
no, she's not. But no.
Her last name is actually Fortner, Penny Fortner.
Oh, yeah. That was Penny Shepherd or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, her changed name. Yeah.
I know a lot of odd things were said, but I just don't know enough about it. I know that I always verify and try to vet people before I let them on my show. I think I was on her show before. I think maybe with you or with the other guy. But yeah.
It's
I don't know. This car seems to be driving itself again.
Oh my gosh! What do you got? An electric car? Just runs on its own?
Yep, something like that. I don't know.
So there's Steve. I was gonna say I have Steve and Andy MIA. I don't know what's happened. And then
I heard Penny. I'm like, wait, what? What's going on?
What happened? What's going on? Hey Steve, you'd be proud. William taught me something today. He taught me how to pin the links to his books in the chat on YouTube.
I see that.
Right. So if you have your own books, your book should be pinned there. But if you have a guest who's like got books for sale, it's good to pin them in the first comment.
Yeah, I don't have
the hot links they call it. The link where they could just touch it and get right there.
I don't have no books. I don't want no books. I don't care to write any books. I just I don't care.
All right.
I'm uncareable at this point in my life. I've had to live through almost freaking dying because of somebody that I thought was my friend. So I don't. I would much rather just stay alive and not write no books. I don't care. So, yeah.
I'll get William to help me write my book, and then I'll write you into it, Brenda.
There you go. Or Steve. Well, no, Chad. Chad would be the one to help you write books because Chad does that.
Yeah. Well, don't do what Tom did.
William said he was already going to help me, so yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, maybe we can introduce Chad to William, and William and Chad can help you. We'll make this a family affair.
Somebody else was going to help you.
You're breaking up there, William.
We got to wait for him to stop. He's running around.
Somebody told you for a few years they were going to help you with that, and they never get around to it.
Yes, they were just stalling me.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what you do with a horse when you don't want to ride him. You put him in the stall. You know, that was getting stalled.
You know, William can help is Dorma Lee.
Hey,
she wrote a book.
Some of these people are watching it, but that person that stalled you is stalling the other people they're involved with now too, right?
Yeah, this is true. Yeah,
so I agree. At least you're out of that.
I don't even know if it might be just the lack of competency and like I always try to. I don't oversell things. I try to undersell it and then under promise and then over deliver. You know.
Right. I got your book too. I went ahead and bought your other book too. I hope you know that later on I'm going to show up at your house, William, and you're going to have to feed me macaroni and cheese.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. I make the best lasagna you ever had in your life.
Oh my
and it's very very sad that I can't make it for the people that matter, the most to me, and they just hate my guts or something. I don't know what their problem is. So I'm not this horrible person, but you make me feel like that after a while. So
Hey, look, me and Steven here are planning like a little tour because I want to go to PA because I want to go to Gettysburg, and so we're planning on doing this one day. One day I will have the money to do this, but I have to go visit my daughter in Colorado first because if she finds out I went all the way to PA and couldn't go to Colorado, she's gonna just let me have it, and I don't want to be a part of that. So
Wait a minute. Did you say Gettysburg?
yes.
Oh crap. Okay.
Yeah, and then Steve and I'll be stopping at your house, Andy, because I know you don't live that far from there. So
No, 45 minutes.
yeah.
Oh wow.
We're stopping by your place, Andy. After or before.
That's right. So you better have your nap before, we come over. So just saying. Just saying.
Okay.
I'm all for doing the road trip stuff, and like I can see us.
Because they're
doing
gonna
it.
wear you out, Andy. They're gonna wear you out.
okay.
As long as Steve and I don't have an argument while we're there and he doesn't leave me on the side of the road, we're good to go.
Yeah, like in Yosemite National Park, you see like those like the goats, like just like button heads all the time. That's Brenda and I. Not all the time though.
We do that. We're both Capricorns and we're both dominant people and we're both just, yeah. So that's what we do.
Headstrong, yeah.
As Susie says, we fight like siblings. So I don't know. Maybe Steve is my maternal twin. Well, that can't be. I'm way older than him.
Hey, you know what's crazy?
It happened
Crazy.
times.
Hey, look at this, guys. What do you guys see right now? Can you see something right there?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Don't let him know you're on your phone. Look,
so yeah, he's right ahead of me now. You see him?
yeah, don't let him know you're on your phone. Ding dong, put that down. You're not supposed to do that.
Well, I'm following.
Yeah, no texting and driving,
I'm not doing any of that. This is my avatar.
Let us know if you get pulled over. We'll all be quiet.
If I get pulled over, I'm pulling him over in a second. Hang on.
You have to put us on mute.
So, William, you have had an.
I'm gonna pull him over and report a crime. I'm gonna tell him about a burglary I did 30 years ago.
Yeah, don't tell him that. Well, you can. You're free now. You're clear. You're in the clear now, right?
Officer,
Yeah.
pull over. I got to talk to you about a burglary. He pulls over. Hey, officer, about 30 years ago, I hit this mansion in Florida, and you pulled me over. You pulled me over for that. What the hell?
You should have told him. And I sold the jewelry to Epstein.
Well, I was trying to nip it in the bud. Pulled me over.
And he introduced me to Maxwell. Just give him the whole story.
There you go.
Oh.
Tell him all about it.
What time? Here, I'm gonna see if you want to come on the show and say hello.
You're gonna pull up Mass Officer if he wants to come on the show and say hello.
There you go. Like,
tell him we're recording a reality show.
A reality show.
This is your reality officer.
You're on candid camera.
This
Yeah.
guy.
So William,
What?
With all of that stuff, and you write in the book about Maxwell, and the stuff with Epstein and all that. And how are you handling the whole worrying about whether anybody's gonna find you? I mean, are you doing okay? Keeping everything stable and not freaking out? And
Can't hear you, William.
Oh.
Can't hear you.
We gotta wait till he stops. William, stop the car.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, because when he said he couldn't hear me earlier, I wasn't talking. I was trying to navigate a series of illegal turns. So Okay, now I'm leaving.
Okay.
I am going to get out. And what was the question? I'm sorry, guys.
How are you holding it together because of your books coming out and the stuff that you put in there about Maxwell and Epstein and
Well,
mentioning
I've been dealing with it. I've been dealing with it for a few years now. The problem is you grow complacent, and that was a big wake up call. What I heard earlier.
Oh, what I told you that happened today?
Yeah, definitely a big wake up call. That I need to not be complacent.
Yeah, that would probably be kind of a good idea.
Hold on, my pants are falling off.
Again? Didn't that happen when you were younger at the airport?
I think the lobby for this place is closed, so I'm going to walk up to the drive-through. Watch this.
Why are you going to walk up through the drive-through? Just drive your car through the drive-through.
Because
William, I know.
I'm not a rule follower. Watch season 1, episode 1. Mark says, "I don't think Bill's a rule follower." I said, "What makes you think so? My appearance on America's Most Wanted or my escape from prison?"
Right?
Well, here, this is how Bill walks through the drive-through.
Now, see, how did you do that?
I just got out of the car and walked around the building.
No, I'm not talking about walking up to the drive-thru. I'm talking about
when he escaped from prison. That's what he said. Yeah.
Oh, great! A gigantic van got to be in my way right now. So, Taco Bell.
Mickey meat.
Hey, is Laura there? Is Laura there? That's Laura. You're live. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Everybody's saying hi to Taco Bell. Thank you, Taco Bell, for this.
She's got a wig on. Hey, look, she's on house arrest with an ankle monitor on.
Oh no! What?
So, yeah, but she has a very inspirational story. I may have her on the show or not. I don't know yet.
So how did you manage to escape from prison? What did you do?
You got to read the autobiography. Now look, that book there. If you want to buy that one now, that's the one I sell for $12,000. So you're gonna buy that?
I already got them both. I already got them.
She already bought them.
I know you did, but my autobiography's not out yet.
Oh.
For crying out loud!
Hey, I have a question, William. I have a question.
Yes,
I know
ma'am.
you told me that you were shown Prince Andrew and the Clintons. Were you shown anybody else that we know? Any names?
Yes, but I think we're running out of time on the show to talk about it.
I can sit on the show as long as I want. So does that mean no, you can't talk about those names?
No, I can talk about it. It's just freezing out here, and I'm waiting for this stupid van to leave.
That's why you drive through the drive-through so you don't freeze, William. It doesn't have
Oh my
anything to do with
God.
following rules. It has to do with staying warm.
But look, there's like 5 cars online. It's a Friday night. There's like almost nothing open in this town, except for the clubs.
But catching pneumonia will just send you to the ER. Look, people are honking at you. Wave, hi, everybody.
So, hey, who's that? I think I have a fan here. Who's that?
I know who you are. What are you doing?
Who is this? What's your name?
I know you, man.
You're live right now.
Oh, well, William, what are you doing?
This is a fan in the drive-thru. How do you know me?
Because you're on that freaking that TV show.
This happens all day long. Yes, I am. Inmate to roommate.
Inmate to roommate.
You're live in front of millions of people right now.
We're in Taco Bell.
What's your name? Hey, I can't get up there. Give me some tacos, man.
Live
If
in
you're trying to
Taco
put it
Bell.
off for Mark and Sean, I'm dying for a taco. Why, they closed?
I can see if I can add a taco, all right? I'll get you a taco. All right.
Hey, if you want to take some pictures before you leave, I'm parked there in the black caddy.
Okay.
Hey, how crazy is that? How crazy
That's
is that?
pretty funny.
Drive-through.
William, you are so funny.
The drive-through with a fan drive-through.
I know you. You're that guy.
He's like, holy shit, you're.
Oh, I know
you. I see an inmate to roommate in the drive-thru Taco Bell.
I talked about him at taco. I got no shame.
That's crazy.
Nobody can say that you don't have lunch with your fans, okay?
Right. Now, Susan, you witnessed it when I told you that I can't go anywhere without being recognized.
That is crazy. You can't even go through the drive-thru at Taco Bell.
Oh man, it's cold out here.
I told you.
Did you hear? I thought it was someone like beeping at me for walking through the drive-thru. I didn't know it was a fan. Like, Bill, what are you doing? Walking over here?
That's funny. I don't care what anybody says. That's hilarious.
Did you guys see them when I turned the camera around? The couple
Yep.
that was in the SUV?
Yep, we could see
Yeah.
it. They were like,
That
I'm
was
liking
funny.
Taco Bell.
You're on that show. You're on that show.
That is so.
I make your roommate.
It's
That's
you.
pretty
It's you, William.
Yeah, that is pretty
My
funny.
life is crazy, man. I'm so blessed because when you're in prison, you think the whole world hates you, you know? Like, I'm freaking miserable. You know, you're lonely, you're depressed, you miss your family, you miss your kids. You know, a guy misses, good food, intimacy with a woman. You miss everything and you're freaking miserable. And I try to put on a good front and be helpful to people and pass my time and keep my sense of humor, stay busy. Like I said, I was taking college, university courses, writing books. I try to stay busy, but there's only so much busy when it comes right down to it, you know?
Yeah.
And then when I get out and I have this successful show and you see how beautiful people can be and all the wonderful comments. If you guys ever go through the comments that people say about me and all these different things that are out on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, it chokes me up. Like I can't get through like 3, 4, 5 of them without like tears. I'm like, man, people are so good, man. Like, Bill, you're the greatest of all time. I love you. Hey, do you have that clip of the guy giving me a shout out from the tower?
Yes, actually,
I'll tell everybody
think
what
I
happened.
do.
A guy contacts me. Usually it's a bunch of females, and that's created problems, of course, in relationship. But, um, like I said, I'm not perfect. Whatever. I probably crossed a few lines here and there, but this guy contacts me, and he says, "Man, you're the greatest of all time. If you ever come to Texas, me and my wife just saw you on TV, and man, you're so inspirational. We want to take you out to dinner and have you over the house." And I said, "Are you serious?" And he says, "Like, yeah, man, we just watched your show. You're the best. All the stuff you put up with, and now you turned your life around." And like, I'm getting like moved, like really emotional, like reading this guy's comments. It was so nice. And he sends me this shout out from his work. He works on top of a gigantic tower. And if you can play that video for the audience here, this guy sends, his name's Brett. He drives motocross motorcycles or something. And go for it.
Hang on a minute.
Got it, Brenda?
I've got it.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and put it on my screen share.
Okay.
Hey. Remember this call from the show? This was that last episode. Yeah. Hey, here comes my fan right here.
Taco!
What's your name?
Justin.
Justin, say hello to my audience.
Hey
Hey
guys, thanks for the tacos. Very sweet.
Silent Partners. Silent Partners, a mafia movie, will be streaming on May 13th. And they offered me another reality show too.
Did they?
Yeah, you guys want to take a picture?
Hey, let's go.
I mean, you come out. You gotta jump out probably. Right?
Get out. Shoot. All right.
So what do you guys?
Hey,
What do you
Bill.
guys do?
Shoot. We just freaking live right here in Fort Wayne.
Oh yeah. What do you do?
I sell cars.
Really? I need another car. I want to get it.
So you said last time you freaking saw me. You said you were going to buy a car, but you never did.
Why did I see you last time?
Yeah, Pierre's like 2 years ago.
Aw.
Well, the money wasn't all that good 2 years ago.
That's a good salesman.
Pain in the butt. Hang on a minute.
Wait a minute.
I got it.
No, I didn't get
This
it.
is doing a pain. Hang on.
Look at it. There you go. Pierce. Take my new number. Hey,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
don't say it. Don't say
Showing up.
it.
Hang on a minute. Is this
Don't
happening?
say it on the air. Give me your card.
I'm a car, man.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to give him the number without getting cut off.
Here, I got you. You're good. Look at this. Type.
That's a new phone. I don't know it. Hey, can I slide this over and give him my number? If I get cut off.
Hey, you want me to read off your number to him?
On the air?
Huh?
I
Oh,
don't want certain stalkers to have it.
you want the whole world to know your number? Yeah, okay, I got you.
What if I slide this over? What's going to happen if I slide this over?
I don't know.
I don't know, but
If I jump off the show, do you guys know how to bring me back on the show?
No idea.
Uh,
Well, and I'm having a problem sharing this too. Why is it not letting me share the video when it let me share the books?
hold on. I'm going to try to
Steven,
slide some side here.
I'm going to send you something.
There you go.
Let me see if you can get it. Hang on a minute.
Okay.
Where are you sending it, Mia?
There you
I'm
go.
going to probably send it through
Email?
your
Yeah,
email.
Pierce was like I promoted the Shaq
Let me
concert or
try
something.
this.
Yeah, the shag. Yeah. Yeah, you're
I was miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet you're miserable. That fucking place is crazy.
Hey, listen. So they were at a concert. Shaq goes by DJ Diesel now, right?
Hey, Diesel, baby.
So Shaq, I was helping promote the concert. It was 1,000 degrees in a place called Pierre's. You guys listening? So
Yeah.
so Shaq was there. I'm miserable. I'm hot. There's a bunch of demonic imagery, like upside down crucifixes. I'm like, oh Jesus, covered in the blood. Let me get out of here. He's so black you couldn't see him when he got on stage. He was in the hookah lounge smoking hookah all night long. And then so like all these chicks are taking photos of me, right? Including a couple of strippers with like tape over their, their nipples and all that. And so the security and the police came and they took me out of the club. They said they took me to the parking lot, and then the guy who runs the club walked out and said, no, he's famous too, and those are his fans. And then the officer looked up my shows and everything because he asked me, he said, why are you taking pictures with all these people? We got people complaining. I said, yeah, that chick's complaining because her girlfriend's all over me.
Ridiculous. Hey, have a good night, man.
Yeah, man.
We're out of here, dude. We're gonna freaking talk about. Hey, eat the fucking
Hey,
taco.
do me a favor. Send me a copy of that picture.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that damn picture. Actually.
You took a picture just now?
No, I took a picture of me and you 2 years ago.
It's good seeing you guys.
Too, man.
Nice.
I'll send you a picture of me.
What dealership do you work for?
Brody Mitsubishi.
Okay, this guy works for Rody Mitsubishi. His name is
Justin Harmon. Come see me, baby.
Fort Wayne, Indiana. These are diehard fans, and they were at the Shaq concert with me. And so that's when the police dragged me out for taking too many photographs with chicks. Listen, so the police dragged me outside. The guy who runs the club says, no, that's Bill. He's really famous, and those are his fans. And they're like, yeah, it was weird. And then they let me go back in. So
They thought you were being a creeper.
no, it was just like
No, they thought like
it
you
was
were.
so hot. I had to get the hell out of the club. And then the guy said, go over there. And there was a outdoor smoking section. I don't smoke. I was like, man, this is worse than being inside. And so as I passed the fan area, a big fan, it was a clearing. And then all of a sudden people were like, oh my God, it's Bill. And I got mobbed. I guess the demographic that listens to Shaq's music, he does like techno, but I don't even think it's him. But anyway, it was really Shaq, and Shaq goes by DJ Diesel. I go by DJ Steel now, by the way. I'm going to be rolling out some DJing myself. Because every reality star who does a cooking show or DJing makes a hell of a lot of side money. So I'm thinking of rolling into that.
Why is this thing is giving me a heck of a time right now? It will not let me throw it into an email. It won't let me. Come on, what are you doing?
Share from Google Drive.
So
Can
Brent
I
lives in
eat a burrito?
Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I eat a burrito on
Brent,
camera?
Brent lives in.
have at it.
Yeah, go ahead. All right. You said share it on Google Drive?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
share it that
Hang
way.
on a second.
Just directly share it from there.
Do.
Hey, that guy was funny. He remembered me from also not from just from the show, but from that 2 years ago at that concert. Or a year, that was like last year. It wasn't even 2 years ago. And and he said he's a car dealer. I said, well, I'm buying another car. I won't be around here when the time comes. He said, you were trying to get another. I said, well, the network was. Now they're offering a hell of a lot more.
All right. Property show Where's my
Okay, now this one here,
right here?
she wants to be on inmate to roommate, so I don't know if she can do it or not.
That really is what you lived through, Susie, huh? Inmate to roommate. You hosted that whole show without knowing it.
Not her.
No, I'm saying Susie hosted that show technically.
That's more like roommate to inmate.
That is funny. William, of all the things you sent me today to be able to put up, and this one here is giving me a hard time. It's only allowing me, how about on, no, not on Outlook, Instagram, Microsoft, Microchip.
You tried downloading the video?
Yeah, it is downloaded.
You
And
can't
for
just
some
play it?
reason, it's not, nope. Because when I try to bring it up to play it, and if I drop it down to get it out of my way so that I can, put it up, it's being a pain in the keister. So let me try it this way and see. No, I got to have it out of the way. And for me to hit the share screen, it's got to be up before I can do it, or else it won't allow me to do it. It's not.
Well, bottom line, you can verify that this guy's set was like 800 feet in the air on the very top of a cell tower in Texas. Fan of my show. And he said, "Hey, Bill, from 800 feet high, we love you." You know, something like that.
Oh, wow. How cute.
But from the top of a cell tower. She filmed that, I guess, yesterday or the day before and sent it to me. I have what's her name? Katrina Michio from The Sopranos. The same thing. She did a shout out for me. She was dating James Gandolfini when he died. She was like in affair with him, whatever. She did a nice shout out for me. Who else? Lika O. Lika O is a famous pop star. She's got millions and millions of. She's a singer rather. She's done a nice shout out for me. You guys ever hear of Diane Warren?
I've heard of that name before. Where's she from?
She's one of the top award-winning songwriters on planet Earth. She wrote more pop songs for these famous artists than anybody else. Like Dirty Dancing, and like every famous person has had a song written by Diane Warren, right? She's a huge fan of the show. She's in touch with me through I think it's TikTok or Instagram or something. So Diane Warren's a fan. Todd Bridges from Different Strokes, he's always messaging me he's like the only survivor, man. Like the little guy. He was the one Willis. He played Willis on Different Strokes in the 80s.
Yep.
He's a huge fan of mine. He's always in touch, man. Bill, man, keep up the good work. You're so inspirational. Everybody died from that show. Like Dana Plato, the girl that his little white sister, she overdosed in Florida years ago.
Yep.
Gary Coleman, the small guy that was a star of the show, he's died. I don't know how he died, but he's passed away.
Yep.
And one day I get a message from Todd Bridges, and I'm like, okay.
Like, hey. Y'all hang out together.
And then the scammers come out of the woodwork. I get a message from Brad Pitt, right?
And watch that one. That one, and there's another one. You got to be careful. Very careful.
You heard what I said about Brad Pitt previously?
What?
So I get a message from a Brad Pitt profile, and I'm not good at spotting fake profiles. And Mary was very proficient at telling me, look, catfish, fake, too new, too this, too that, and she trained me like to kind of identify them on Facebook pretty quick, and I still fell for a couple of idiots. So so Brad Pitt contacts me, right? He said, "Oh man, you're inspirational. I want to do movies with you, Bill. I got something in mind for you, blah blah blah." And part of me is like, he's full of crap. This isn't Brad Pitt, right? and so it went back and forth for about a week, and then he says, "Look, just send me $100 on like Google Play or something."
Of course.
I'm like, "Oh, you're Brad Pitt. You need my $100?" He said, "Yeah, that'll offset the cost of our phone calls."
Yeah.
I said, so I just went now I'm the king of true crime. So I just want to do a show about this guy trying to scam me, right?
Yep.
So it goes on, and eventually he said, I said, Brad, you must have forgot that Angeline is my cousin. We just haven't talked in years. He goes, no, I remember that. He said, I understand it's some family drama, but no, really, I want to include you in one of my next movies, and it'll pay you this and that. And I says, okay, give me your information. So he gives me the information, right? And I said, did you get it? He goes, no, you didn't send it. You said you were going to send it. And I said, listen, I accidentally sent you $1,000, and your girl said she got it. He said, what girl? Where'd you send $1,000 to? I didn't send anything. So now I got him arguing. I got him arguing with his co-defendants, probably, right? Wondering who stole his money. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm pulling up to the window here.
William.
Hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
Your manager, that's not too cool. How you doing? Can I say hello to Laura for one split second, please?
Are you picking up orders?
No, sir.
All right, can you get out of my talking line, man?
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's
All right.
really inappropriate. We're trying to conduct a business.
Is it really?
Yeah, if you're not ordering food,
I'm a major customer of this store.
I understand that.
He's eating and on a show.
Did you hear what he said?
What
I
show?
just put Taco Bell in front of millions of people, and he's telling me it's inappropriate to film here. Are you kidding me? He must be related to Shauna, the meat police.
Brent, you go to that Taco Bell
This
tomorrow,
is-
and you
she's
tell
in-
them that they stink.
Hey, Laura.
Dang.
She's in her car getting ready. She's in her car getting ready.
He
to
probably had a fight with his girlfriend this week, okay?
yeah.
That's crazy. Well, William, I think that we get you that computer and you can get everything set up okay.
Yeah. Take
And
it easy,
then-
man.
The next time that you come back, it'll be easier for you to get on because we would love to have you back. It's been absolutely fun. And you have just had such a busy life.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the invite, Brenda. You're more than welcome on my show. You know that. If you want to discuss your police career and whatever else you want to discuss, Susie, same invitation. I know you've had encounters with some really bad people and some really good people. We all have. So
Oh, yeah.
you're welcome on my show as
Amen
well.
to that.
I'm trying to gear up. I'm trying to gear up to get things going a little more smoothly again. And so I'm back. I announced to everybody that I'm back, and I am trying to tune out that one side of me that's ripped my heart out of my chest. But it is what it is. I want to give a shout out to people who are in my life now. Ron and Karen, and people like that, and say hello to Angela and Lori, and Brent, and people that might be watching. And Sister Samantha, a Christian lady who came. She's in recovery, and her husband have been doing a ministry, and we might collaborate on a few things. Also, Broken Girl Unchained from California. So a lot of them have just been asking how I am, and checking in on me because I've been off the map here, publicly for a little while. But guys, I'm very glad to be here, and I'm sorry, for the conditions, but I don't know, I guess it makes it interesting, right?
Yeah.
That's right. You made it fun, William.
Isn't that something that somebody I'm driving through a drive-through, and the guy's beeping at me? Hey, Bill, how you doing here?
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
That's funny.
I'm blocking the guy. I'm like, he sees me stopped in the drive-through, and he's still right up my butt trying to get, really? I think.
Bill, thank you so much again for coming on, and I will get with you probably tomorrow, and then we'll try to get a way to send that laptop
Computer.
Yeah. I was just going to use it as a second screen to go back. Susie never ended up using it because she just I'm computer stupid. Okay, computer. That one right there, she's no computer at all. She just won't have nothing to do with it. She's good with her phone, and that's all she wants.
Yeah.
So you need it to help you get going on your stuff again.
No, I appreciate it. It's not even that I don't have the computer that I bought on my credit card.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, this
it's
this
that we had an arrangement. It
It'll-
was broken.
it'll-
I want my I have all my shows and so much
Yeah.
work on that computer. That's what I
This
want. I
one
mean,
this one isn't as big as yours or probably as good as yours, but it's something to get you, at least started until you could figure something out.
I
You
Right.
know,
barely know
That'll be
how to
good.
use them, but it'll be a lot easier to do a stable show with
and
probably
that
what I
one
can do.
there, it's a Hewlett Packard.
Yeah.
It's got Windows 11 on it, so it's got the newest Windows update thing on it and all that. So it should at least work for you a little bit, so you could at least do some things.
Okay, I
So
appreciate it. Everybody, let's keep in mind the victims of of these horrible human beings like Epstein and Maxwell, and
yes,
and Diddy, and all these monsters that are just monstrous towards people that are vulnerable.
yep.
It's horrible. I talk about my past to get your attention, but never follow in my footsteps because I screwed up my life pretty damn good, and now I'm trying to clean it up. And I'm still making some mistakes, but in the end, it's all good.
Well,
Somebody else looks like they're driving. Who's driving down there on the lower right side? That's not me, is it?
no, that's Patrick. Um, Unfortunately, I was on the other side of what you say, and I was a child of uh, somebody who,
Was
um,
well known. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
who
great.
wronged me.
The cops are coming. The manager probably called them. Oh, he's filming in my drive-through.
Tell him you bought food and you were eating it.
I used to love making the cops chase me. They never caught me.
Yeah, well, don't do that now. You're in a Cadillac that can't outrun the cops now.
You want to bet? You want to bet? This thing has got this thing is so powerful. This thing is so powerful, and for you law enforcement guys watching, I would never do that. Hey, the funny thing is, I kind of do some delivery stuff on the side in the evenings, especially to learn my way around town and earn a few bucks.
Yeah,
And I go up to this house. There's a police SUV in the driveway, and the guy comes to the door, and it's clearly an undercover vehicle in this beautiful home. And he opens the door, and I get to give him his food, and I and I say, "Hey," I said, "I don't know what you did, but the police are in your driveway."
just give my money. I
he,
gotta
he,
go.
he says, "Oh, I'm a detective." I says, "Well, guess what? I'm a career criminal. I used to be on America's Most Wanted. How you doing?"
William,
And
you're
guess
so
what?
funny.
Guess what? I talked to him about his specialty. I'm not going to say what it is on the air, because it was something I used to do a lot of with
Yeah,
vehicles, and we developed a good rapport. And I said, "Man, you're welcome to come on the show and profile a case or whatever you want to talk about, crime prevention. It's all good." But yeah, and I said as I was leaving, he was looking at my show. He was looking at my show and everything. He's, "Wow, you really turned your life around." I said, "Yes, sir." And as I'm pulling away, I said, and I looked back at him. I said, "Now I know what you're thinking. Damn, this guy knows where I live."
right. That's true.
He said, "I'm not worried about it. Half the criminals in this town know where I live." He was very nice. So shout out to this guy. I'm not going to name him. If he sees this, he'll know who he is. And then that one of the heads of homicides around here is retiring, and he wants to come on the show too. That's pretty cool.
There you go. All
Yep.
right, William.
That's cool.
And for all you people that are struggling with this, and the things that that we all dabbled in the past, and the other stuff, I don't know if you can mention it, the white stuff coming in from Mexico and China,
Yeah.
that with the F, it begins with an F.
Yep.
I dropped somebody off at a hotel and saw somebody in that hotel room do a little bit and immediately fell out and died in front of me, and they brought the person back to life. And I've never seen it before because I had been locked up for so long. And I was like, what just happened? It was very, very scary, and it kills people instantly. I'm going to be interviewing Jeremy. Jeremy's from Every 11 Minutes on Instagram. Please follow him. He covers all these cases where people died from that, including kids who ingested it by accident. And every 11 minutes, they say somebody dies in this country from that, from fentanyl. And
There.
guess what? And guess what? He got on there the other day and he said, I should rename my channel because I found out now it's every 5 minutes. So,
Yeah.
and he's got millions and millions of views. It's so heartbreaking. Check out Every 11 Minutes on Instagram. This guy is doing an incredible job. He's a substance abuse counselor in California. And by the way, he confirms what I've been telling people very close to me. Prescription drugs from doctors can be an addiction. And if you're doctor shopping and you're taking pills the way you're not supposed to and mixing them with things that you're not supposed to, that's called drug addiction, whether you like it or not.
Right.
And the people that I've tried to counsel about this over the last few years know exactly who I'm talking about. And it breaks my heart that people, when when you're in denial, when you're using something like that, and you're in denial, and you think you don't have an addiction because you're getting it from doctors, you're fooling yourself. When you're bouncing off the walls and you can't walk straight and you can't get out of bed and you can't function and you're always combative, there's a problem.
Yep.
So I pray for people that are stuck on these prescription pill addictions, because that's just as horrible as being strung out on street drugs.
I tell my doctor all the time, I hate mine. He knows I do. Mine are prescribed 4 times a day. I only take it once at night, because let me tell you something. Try waking up in the middle of the night with a Charlie horse in the calf of a leg you no longer have anymore. It is
Yeah,
painful.
that's crazy.
There's nothing
Is that what they call phantom pain, but for you it's real?
Yes. And then the other day I woke up and I had a Charlie horse in my nub. And there isn't enough of a nub for me to sit and rub it out. It was horrible. It was horrible. So I only usually one at night before I go to bed. That way it helps me to where I don't wake up like that. Because when you wake up with a Charlie horse and a leg that isn't there, there is nothing you can do but ride it out. And it feels like it is pulling your whole entire leg apart.
Hey, Brenda, I saw this guy talk about, it was really interesting. He said, whenever your body feels pain, you actually have to tell that part of your body, okay, it's okay. We're going to take care of it. Or you actually have to tell your body you acknowledge the pain, and then the pain will actually go away. It's just there to let you know that something was wrong. And I thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah,
that
tell you that does not work, because you don't know how many times I've done that. See, the problem.
Well, I'm just saying, I just thought that was so cool, because I'll get hurt a lot, and then I'll go, ouch, and then
what's up, you cop?
Yeah,
I go past it.
Is it?
And then I don't feel it.
No, I'm doing a live show with like millions of people watching.
Yeah, dog.
You like reality TV?
Yeah.
You ever see Love After Lockup?
No.
You ever see 60 Days In?
Yeah.
You ever see Inmate to Roommate?
Yeah.
I'm Bill from Inmate to Roommate. I'm doing some filming here.
Oh,
So one of my he's not a fan yet, but he will be. I'm gonna be in Silent Partners May 13th. I'm gonna be in a movie, Mafia movie, on May 13th.
Okay, I'll look out. Good night, man.
I'm gonna pull up here.
Okay.
but yeah, but your brain remembers pain. And unfortunately for me, when they were cutting my leg off, the anesthesiologist dropped the ball, because I'm allergic to anesthesia, so they have to watch me really good. And he dropped the ball and didn't watch me. And I woke up in the process of them cutting off my leg and reached up and grabbed for my leg. I almost lost my hand.
Jesus.
So
that's horrible.
My brain remembers that pain. And that's a lot of my neuropathy, or that's a lot of my
Dang.
So it's pretty bad. So there's nothing I can do about it but try to avoid it from when I'm awake. Like if I'm in Walmart or I'm in the store and it'll hit me like somebody's got a sledgehammer and they just slam it on that foot. My nub will pop up, but I just keep going because I'm awake and I just deal with the pain. But when you're asleep and that wakes you up out of a dead sleep, you might as well hang that shit up.
Ouch.
There's nothing worse. Nothing. And the bad thing about it is my mother had gone through that, and I used to think my mom was crazy. You ain't got nothing there, Mom. You don't feel it. So I have it 10 times worse than I think.
Well, I hope that your body will quit doing that to you, because that's not fair.
They say it usually doesn't ever go away, but
if the nerves are still there that used to go to those things that are bothering you, I heard there's a way that's not addictive. It's how pepper spray uses the capsin from pepper seeds or whatever it is.
Yes,
that's the active ingredient.
Yes,
there's some kind of hyper concentrated painkiller that uses that they inject right into the nerve, and they say that it causes a pretty painful burn when they first hit your nerve with it. But it's so powerful that it numbs the nerve completely for like 6 months, and you don't feel anything.
The only problem with that with me is my upper body is heavy, but my bones are real small and my legs were thin, always thin. I don't have enough muscle for them to be injecting stuff into that nub. If you touch my nub, the first thing you feel is the bone. That's what you feel. You feel no fat, you feel no muscle, you feel no nothing, you feel the bone. Which is one of the reasons why if I ever try to put any pressure on this, it goes in my bones. So even when I have my prosthetic, I have to have things in there about this deep so that it cushions that bone, because if it doesn't, it'll splinter that bone, and that's all I need, because I'll lose the whole freaking thing in that left of my side, and I don't want to do that.
Oh,
So
I was
geez.
going to mention earlier, Brenda, if
the
that ever
hand,
happens again, like severely,
yeah,
kratom is a good alternative for like pain relief, and it's not addictive.
I've
As
I've heard
long
I've
as
heard of that, but you have to be careful. I think on YouTube making a recommendation for something.
we do it all
well,
the time.
it's a
I've heard of
supplement.
that. I know a
It's
guy in
a
Florida
health
that was
supplement. I'm
swearing
not a
by it. He
doctor.
takes it.
But
A friend of
yeah,
mine in Florida takes that all the time, but over here in this state in Indiana, it's illegal.
Oh yeah, it is illegal in some states.
yeah,
Not in Illinois.
and not here either. And here, like my doctor, I discussed this with Steve about different creams that I can buy, that Steve knows what they are. I gotta get the money for those, because it's kind of really expensive.
It's
But
essential oils, and they get really pricey.
I do know that I've read results on them, and there are women that have got arthritis so bad in their hands, and it can also be used for neuropathy, and it can be used for all kinds of things. So, I've gotta try these out.
You
So
need to get a big bell.
yeah, bing, 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 bing. Well, I have my tuning forks, but they don't. In the middle of the night when I'm sleeping and I get neuropathy pain that chokes me and wakes me up, that doesn't really help at that moment. So,
Right?
but then I'm already awake, so it don't matter. But anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it all up. William, your email has been across the screen the whole entire time, so people know how to reach out to you. The links to William's books are they're pinned in the in the chat. And yeah, be watching out for his little spot and his new little movie coming out. We'll see him as he runs by. There he goes.
The movie is actually huge. There's a song from Phil Collins, "I Can Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight," that was
Oh,
very,
yeah.
very, 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 very expensive for Ciro to get permission to use.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if they're leaving it in the
Okay.
final. I don't know if they're leaving it in the final cut or not, but "It's in the Air Tonight" is the name of the movie. The name of the song. It's like from the
Here's
80s.
what's in the air tonight. You have to tell me one more name. I asked you earlier.
What?
Another name.
Another name.
Another name from Epstein.
Let's do this next week. Bring me on for 30 minutes.
We can
We'll
do it
get
next
into
week, but
names.
you got to tell me at least one more person.
We're gonna have to talk about it next week.
You're gonna have to wait till next week. Actually, what we'll do,
The cliffhanger.
I'll get on the phone with you.
I can't tell you guys how to run your show. I'll tell you privately, and they should buy the book if they want to know more names.
Listen, here's the thing. I can get on the phone with you. You can mention them to me, and I'll tell you yay or nay whether you can mention them on the show, because I know who you probably shouldn't mention. So, and there are quite a few. I do keep up with the aspect of different things and politicians and everything else. So,
I am going to spend the rest of my evening tonight. First of all, I'm a little chubby guy right now, and I'm still hungry, so I got to find something else to eat. Then I'm going to Then I have to look up what happened in Virginia.
There you go. And I was going to turn around and tell you to go back through drive-through and just buy you some more food, and then tell them, "Gee, do I have to go home and eat this too?"
I don't like Taco Bell, and the manager made me like it even less.
There you go.
Taco hell, you mean? Taco hell.
Bell.
I had an experience. A wonderful manager at Buffalo Wild Wings. She's incredible. They're all fans of mine over there. I go eat. The crowds come over. Not crowds. I'm not that big, but you know what I mean. A few people here and there. Everybody likes seeing me go over there, right? this other manager, I go there to see her and take some more pictures. She told me to come by. I got there late. She already left. The next manager, I bought the food to go, and then I changed my mind, decided to eat it in. And she tells me, once you buy it to go, you can't eat it in. I said, this place seats 150 people. You have like 5 people in here. I could grab a table in the corner. I said, come on, I bring you guys a lot of business and fans of mine. I don't care who you are. You can't eat it in here once you bought it to go because it's already in a to go box. I'm like, I
Okay,
said,
go put
whatever
it in
happened to
the
customers always right?
You should
She
have
not
handed
only
it
she
to her.
not only made me eat in the car. It was hot that day. I spilled the food in the car. Then I left the power on. The car needed to jump after that. And then I went back to the store from the doctor's parking lot next door where I was eating to get a jump. And then she told me I couldn't ask the patrons for a jump. I said, I'm eating in the car because of you to begin with. I said, I spend a lot of money in this restaurant and people like having me over here. And you're the only idiot that told me to go eat in the car.
You should
You
have just
should have turned
scratched
around
out
and
of
told
it.
her. You should have handed it back to her and told her to put it on a plate, and
You
went
know
and
what?
sat down.
That's what I
Yeah.
said. I said I would even tip whoever's in charge, waitressing that area. And she's like, nope, it's already in the thing. That's my policy. And you can't come over here unless you're stuck in my parking lot for help because you parked over there in the next door parking lot. I said, yeah, to stay out of the way for your patrons because I knew dinner hour was approaching. I'm trying to be courteous. You were a jerk. You kicked me out. And guess what? I wasn't going to file a complaint, but I put in a scathing complaint to Buffalo Wild Wings. And I'm probably, if I don't hear back from them soon, I'm going to probably put a bunch of crappy reviews. But I mean, I had a big salad and it was like all these white pieces from like the end of like the romaine. I'm like, who puts all that in there? You know. And anyway, it was just a bad, weird
You'd be
day.
surprised, William.
Yeah, I'm
You're
not.
on the outside now. They don't feed you as well out here.
Well,
Just saying.
it's better than gray bologna that smells like God knows what.
I know it. But all right, my dear. Well, we will let you go, and then we're going to wrap up the show. And I'll get with you tomorrow and see how you're doing. Let me know if you find anything out, and if not, I'll let you know if I find something else out about
Yeah, I'm
her.
gonna. It's still pretty early. It's Friday, but at the same time, I am gonna head towards my humble abode, um, rather than sleeping in the car. You know. Thank you very much for those who put me here. I'm just kidding.
Go
Um,
to your humble abode.
what oh man, the last few weeks, man. Oh my God, pray for me. I've just been I was so down on everything. Like I try to focus on God because people will always let you down. I learned this in prison, always let you down. God never will, and that's my message to the audience. Do not follow in my footsteps of my past. I don't glorify what I've been through. I'm not proud of it, but I share those stories to show you that God's capable, more than capable, to help change somebody's heart. And He's done that for me, and I enjoy helping people today by sharing my story. And keep God first and foremost. That's all I can say. That's my message.
That's right.
Amen.
Give it to God, and eventually
Amen.
He will work it out for you.
Amen.
So, all right. You have a good night, William. Be safe going back
Thank
to
you,
your
William.
humble abode.
Good night, guys.
Good
Very nice
night.
seeing
Night.
everybody. Good seeing everybody again.
Have a good one.
Bye.
All right. God bless.
God bless.
All right, everybody. We went over a long time, but we got off to a rough start because we had technical difficulties. Woohoo! I love technical difficulties. I am planning on another show this week. I don't know if it won't be tomorrow night. Probably Sunday or Monday night. I'm putting together some stuff. And like I said, I found it really fascinating when I ran across, let's see, there are 10 dramatic, big time serial killers that the CIA never wanted us to know about. That even some of them I had never heard of. And then I ran across a few of the high
Interesting.
profile cases that have never been solved. So I am putting together a thing to be able to do a show on that. I'm hoping Sherry will be feeling better too, so she can come back in.
How is Sherry? Where is Sherry?
She she was doing gardening, and
Okay.
she was doing too much, and she
Okay.
hurt her shoulder real bad.
Oh,
So she's been kind
wow.
of laid up. Yeah.
Well, if you're watching, Sherry, get better in Jesus' name.
I know she was. She might have fallen asleep. because she was
Okay.
just not feeling all that great.
Oh,
So,
well,
you know,
rest will help.
we all know what it's like to, have aches and pains and bones. And look at Susie, man. Oh, she drive me crazy. That Susie, I don't know about her one of these days. She's just gonna break everything because she's out there doing too much.
I've never broke a bone in my body, so
Hey, hey, hey. Knock on wood.
knock on wood. Where's the wood? Here it is. But no, yeah, Joel's feeling better. He said he's ready to start riding horses tomorrow. So
That's good. That's good.
he messed up his shoulder because he had a tree branch fall on him. But he's a
I
tough kid.
don't
He,
know about you guys.
yeah.
It's crazy. All right, everybody, watch for your notifications. We will be putting on another show this week. I've got stuff I need to do tomorrow, so it can't be tomorrow. And
I have my show tomorrow morning at 11.
oh yeah, Steve has his show tomorrow morning at 11.
What's
And
your show about, Steve?
1900s Chicago film industry.
yeah, see, I like
Okay.
those. I really like those.
Thank you.
I do. I've been watching them. If I can't catch it live, I end up watching it at night when I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah, it's fine. Whenever you can catch it, that's what it's there for.
I like it live because then I sit and I talk
Get
to
to chat.
Jason and Lou and whoever else, So.
Yeah, Jason, Jade, Norma's there most times. So yeah, I appreciate you all coming and watching what I do.
Yeah, it's kind of really cool. So I want to tell everybody out there, good night. We love y'all. Thanks you for being
I love you
here.
guys.
And I hope that you enjoyed. We will have William come back because he's a hoot. And he's just got, he's got a lifetime of things to
Of stories,
get
yeah.
out there. Yeah, he's been a rough one. He's lucky he's still here. So
Right? It's God's grace. Yeah.
Yeah. But like always, everybody, have a good weekend. And please be kind to one another. Good night.